Hi.
Hello,
And welcome to
the Partner Panel.
All right. Well, thank you both for making it here. Appreciate you. What are you guys' thoughts on the weekly updates that we're getting, bi-weekly now instead of a weekly?
I'm really happy about it. Really excited. I think a lot of people for a long time were kind of chomping at the bit to get more news, more updates from the team. So to be able to get consistent bi-weekly updates for the last few weeks, last month, two months now.
I think it's been
bi-weekly updates.
Yeah. Well, even more than that. I think we started getting on February, right? Started coming in February.
3 months now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really good to have those consistent updates, and they've been sticking to that. It's not something they've pushed back. It's something that they are pushing consistently. So I'm excited about that. Happy to have that. I think that the updates may not have been like super impactful, but I don't think they need to be. I think just like moving the stick further
Yes.
down the road is really good. If they're, people are going to be happy if the stick is moving. It doesn't need to be moving greatly every time, although it is good to see like big updates. Like 13 was a massive update, but we don't need that all the time. So I'm happy to see the updates, and they're sticking to that, following through with their plan was. I think people are happy by that, and I'm seeing a lot of like extra stuff that I didn't expect to see when I'm seeing these weekly updates. They're sneaking stuff in that I didn't fully anticipate, which is really cool to see.
Oh, for sure.
I think Russ pretty much hit on the nail. I think the bi-weekly update is a good change. Change is good. It gives SMS the time to get more substance in a weekly update, whether it's bi-weekly or not. So I think it's definitely going towards that.
Yeah.
Good direction.
And that's what I was saying in past episodes, is that when we were getting a weekly update, it felt like we were either going to run out of information, and next thing you know, we're not going to get these updates because we don't have any more information to give you at this moment. So either we're going to start getting smaller, like really small updates, or you come and do it, you cut it down. So you go to bi-weekly. Here we are bi-weekly, but we're still. I like how they did it. They use the patches as the other week, the in between, and then so in between the patches that we're getting, which is an update, we also get the bi-weekly after that. So it works out perfect. We're not missing a week. We're just depending on which one's either the update or which one's the patch. So I really enjoy it.
Yeah, it gives us something fresh to think of, something new to see weekly, which is like a big deal for a game, especially something this small.
Yep.
Even if it's just like the slightest thing, just something, it's been really good to have. So I've been really stoked about it. But they're adding, in terms of like what they're throwing in, and what they're working on, I feel like is even a step further than what I thought. Like the updates themselves would be. Looking at like just an update going in and working on visual effects and throwing up a bunch new visual effects, things like that is more than I thought. I thought that would be like something that came with patches. So the fact that that's coming with updates, I think is a really good thing.
Yeah, these
have in there.
These visual effects that they're adding, and even the sound effects that they're adding, it's really making the game more immersive, in my opinion. The Greystone, his ult, the lion head on his back, the eyes glow now, like just the little things they add, and they don't even show you in the update. So it's more of like when you get into game, and next thing you know, you're playing, like, wait, why are those eyes glowing? Like, well, oh my gosh, like, great to see. I play Murdock a lot, so the new Murdock, and I think it's even added in here in one of the patches. I think it's patch notes. That new visual effects for his passive. I love that.
Yeah.
I was like, this is great looking, great job.
Yeah, it's really cool. And I think one thing to note about those visual effects is that they're not just visual effects, right? Like these are things that impact the game as well.
Yeah.
Right, like it's adding this is it's bigger than just like, oh, it looks cooler. It's like, okay, now we have more information to go off of. And when you're talking about in the middle of a team fight, information is everything. And
Right.
in the middle of a game, like you want to know as much as you can in a very clean way, right? And if you can know when Gideon's passive is available based off of his arms going, or if you know
Right.
like you can
Yes.
clearly see that Greystone is available on the enemy team, because sometimes it's hard to tell, or in the past now it's a lot easier to tell, and so you can know that, oh yeah, like other than like great team communication between a top level team that's like, oh yeah, like Greystone's ult is down. Well, if you're solo queue, you have really, like, unless you were like always watching off lane, how are you gonna like fully know that Greystone's ult is down? You're not
Exactly.
gonna fully know, and you're not gonna know when it came back.
Right.
If it did go down, you don't, like, it's not like you're sitting there timing it out.
Yeah.
You could, but like, I mean, there's just the fact that there's visual effects there affects the game in a very positive way, because there's less of that not knowing what's happening, which is a really, really good thing for the game. So I'm really happy with the visual effects changes that have been happening. And it'll be cool to see more of them added. It's just a good thing, and for items as well. I think it's the same way. It was like, before we had all these items with actives, but you had no idea which, or effects for. I mean, you had no idea when anything was happening. You're like, what? You have the big mark of like, hey, is like, what's actually going down here? Why is this guy like all of a sudden regenning all of his life like immediately? Why is my health gone out of nowhere? So to be able to have those sound effects, I think is really nice, just so you have more clear information in front of you, so you can make better team fights, win more games, or lose more games.
Oh yeah, that's how you do it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, you bring up a good point. I literally was watching it as what you were countering with. I was looking at it as like, man, that's just a good, beautiful effect. You look at that, as you're going through the update, you see, Gideon's hands glow purple. Like, oh man, that is awesome. It's like, all right, yeah. But you're right. It is a good way to like know, like, okay, wait, his passive's active. I need to watch out for a third rock. And I'm not talking about the one from the sun. So it's. Yeah. But yeah, so that's a great way to look at it. Even a way it's like, to play a little more with information. You can work with it. So it's great. I love all the work they're doing to it. I can't wait to see the more that they do with it. I'm gonna see something to do with Decker. Decker's my girl, my support girl. I'm gonna see what they do with her.
Oh, there you go.
Right?
Yeah, she'll probably get some love soon.
I think so.
I think she will. I think when they can finally lock in that stun ball, so it's like it does what you do every single time you throw it. Now, I don't know if people like myself that are on the West Coast that still, at the best, I'm still getting over 100 ping. I don't know, like, how much of that is ping related, how much of that is Decker stun ball related. I don't know. But I mean, that's just something that people from the West Coast. Yeah, and I should just panty up and move to the.
Hey, we'll take you here in Michigan. Come on over. We'll take you here in Michigan.
Michigan.
The bus. We got a spot. You can park the bus right up back here. All right, we're good.
Perfect. Right beside the lake. Huh?
There you go. Yep, you got it.
Nice.
Beautiful view. Hey, we can park your van right down by the river. There you go. A little Chris Farley reference. All right.
Well, I mean, it's a bus, not a van. But
true. Right. Yeah. I mean, well, you're bigger than Chris Farley, figuratively speaking. Just kidding. No, Chris Farley is a great guy. I was just kidding. More of a joke.
I love Chris Farley.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
That's awesome.
Support and toxicity. I like. So they put this in here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I'm surprised.
I like how they do it, because it's more of like to let you know what's going on and how to report somebody. But this makes me think of putting reports in games. I did talk to some of the devs and they took it out, the reporting of a bug and the game's out, because of the fact that they were getting so many like bad reports, or people were just like putting in toxic reports, you know, because somebody, Boris was broken or whatever, so they're just literally spamming a report of Broken Bear or whatever, and it was like it wasn't an actual like good criticism report, you know. And so it was being misused, it was being abused, you know, and so they took it out. But like now, like I'm like seeing, luckily all of us here, we're streamers, so we're able to like make a clip, you know, hit a button, make a clip, all right, and I can report that, you know. And you know, like you, me, Russ, we have that spot where we can report to the devs, like, here we go, look, just so you know, I saw this, you know, with Espada being the new, you know, working on the map and, you know, clipping areas or whatever. I literally had something like that happen, clip, sent it, tagged him, here you go, here's a spot for you to look at, and he's, oh great, thank you, you know. So we have that, but not everybody in the community has that ability, you know. It makes it harder. Like I know right now, before I was a partner, to put a clip into Discord, you had to do @ButlerBot or whatever, or do some weird thing, and then you got to like answer the same question 3 times, put the link in, and then it's so annoying. And I'm like, I quit doing it. I'm like, no, I'm not doing this. And now you got to bug a moderator to, hey, can I DM you a link clip because this is an issue, and then you got to spam it. Like, I don't know. I feel like there's got to be another way that they can make this easier for the community, because that's what we're right now, early access. That's what we're here to help find bugs and play the game and enjoy it and represent it. And it's hard for us to report the bugs, you know. Menace right now, not being a partner, for him to report a bug, he's got to jump through all those hoops. Like luckily for us, we don't have that as many hoops to jump through, but it's still a pain.
Right.
Go ahead. I did try, and I was messing with the Butler bot. Yeah, I'm just too much. It's sad to say, but the average player is just gonna just forget about it, try to avoid the bug, and not go, you know, try out, and then ultimately that slows down the progression of the game to where there's no bugs at all. But yeah, it is a little difficult when the average person is gonna be like, oh, you know what, I'll just save my time and not report anything at all, you know. But I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I've been a partner for some time now, so I didn't really have to do a whole lot of, didn't really have to do a whole lot of sending in of clips to the Butler bot. I think I tried it one time, and that was a long time ago now. So I don't really have anything to say on that side of things, because I haven't really needed to deal with that. But I can see, as from a support ticket standpoint, or like a technical support standpoint, from like the moderators trying to like weed through that. If you have even if you have like half the player base consistently using that, I could see it like that could add up really, really fast.
Oh, no, definitely.
Tickets, and especially if many of them it just feels like a waste of time, because many of them are just like fake tickets, or because somebody could go in there and just put in whatever ticket, like it could be just complete, like, you know, BS, like, you know, like it just be like a red herring, someone throwing in something just to like mess with the team, you know, like when they're trying to get work done, you know, like, and they don't want to be wasting their time. So I could see, like, because there was no way for ButlerBot to really weed out like just, you know, someone just randomly putting in like a video, you know, that wasn't a clip of fault at all. You know,
right.
What was to keep ButlerBot from just like letting any video just get put in there because you said it was a fault video, a fault clip? I don't know if that was an issue for them or not. I could see it being an issue.
Oh, definitely.
And I could see that being a frustration for them, and a reason for them to say like, hey, we're just gonna go to just DM a moderator. We'll just make sure our moderators know, you know, that they're gonna be receiving DMs more frequent, which, I mean, more communication with the moderators, I don't know if is necessarily a bad thing, connecting the moderators. Now, if it's a bad thing where, you know, the person is upset because this bug, and now the moderators have to take on the weight of receiving all of the complaints about the game, that, you know, that's kind of a role that a moderator has to take on at some point. But I don't want to see our moderators just like thrashed by people that are just upset for
Right.
no reason. You know, like there's some bug that they've probably been told about like many a time.
Billion times,
Like,
yep.
it may be a bug that like literally just is not on the radar right now. And they're just they're just getting DM'd by like so many people about the same bug, and I'd probably go up in the ticket list to something, something that they want to do soon if you send it over. But they're probably at the same time, it's like, man, like I don't want to be like yelled at about this. I just want to like,
No, definitely.
we'll put it in the system and we'll move on. And like, I almost wonder if there needs to be like a public board that people can look at before they like send in like I mean, there's probably a what is the shoot? It's like an organization board. What is that app called that they use? Trello. They probably have a Trello board somewhere that has like those tickets, right? They probably, I think that Fault uses Trello, if I'm not mistaken.
They used to use a Trello. I think that was where the roadmap was at. To have the roadmap, and they don't have the roadmap anymore. So
I wonder if there was a possibility or a way for like the players before they drop something in, maybe we could look at some kind of like some kind of
to see if they've already, if it's been reported
like,
already.
Hey, like, is this something that's been reported? How many times has it been reported? Should I report it? Like, is it something that's already on their radar? And they could say, hey, this is something we recognize. This is something, like, they could hit a button saying like, hey, this is something we recognize. This is something we want to work on. We're going to be working on it. This is its priority. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, they could do whatever they want. I mean, but maybe that would help limit how many mods are getting DM'd. But then again, this is just, we're just talking about there's going to be people that are just going to still DM a mod and like, oh, this is broken, this is broken. That's always going to be a thing. Like, people are going to feel that way and again like this, and they'll get heated, and they won't take a break. I really suggest, if you haven't taken a break and you're feeling a little tilted, take a break. Take a break. It's going to be the best way for you to reset, and you'll probably win more games if you just take a break and then come back. You don't need to just like go at one after the other and like just get frustrated. It's not going to help you out.
No.
So
very true.
You literally had me. I had something going there. I'll have to come back to it. I'll have to come back to it.
Trello board.
No, it wasn't Trello board.
Moderators.
I'll have to come back to it eventually, but it was something to do with this. It was the support and toxicity. I remember I like, this is perfect spot for this, but it's all good.
The UI.
I do. I mean,
in-game reporting.
The in-game reporting. The one thing I have is the exclamation point. Like, nothing, when you hold up when you hit the tab button, you're looking at the scoreboard, that exclamation point does not like scream report to me. Does not scream, hey, this player is being toxic, I want to report this player. Nothing about that exclamation point says, hey, this is what I want to do. I'm not saying I have a better idea or a better icon to put there, but an exclamation point does not tell me this is the button I want to hit.
Honestly, I haven't even used either of those icons yet, the mute or the report, just because if somebody's ranting, I'm gonna just let them go. I'm not gonna pay attention to it. But yeah, it wouldn't catch my attention. Probably still doesn't, probably in half the games I play. Tab and I'm looking, and yeah, they're just little icons to the player logo or character logo, excuse me.
I do use it. I don't use the mute one, only because I kind of
it's
kind of just like
content.
People fly and work off of it. It's part of my content is to kind of just let them, just kind of let them go, and just like we can just try to figure out what's going on in this guy's mind. But I do think I mean, I don't know, I guess you could change the icon for it. I think with a tutorial system that introduces like when they have a playable tutorial, I think there needs to be like a little like pop up, a little thing that shows you, hey, click here. click here. This is how you report people. I think if you add that, I don't think the icon needs to change. I don't think it needs to move. I think it's in a great spot actually, and I think it actually will work really well. It's just a matter of letting people know. It's really quick, super easy. Like I think it works. I think it works quite well, to be honest.
Oh, it does.
I really liked seeing it.
Yep.
If you changed the icon, I suppose maybe that might make it a little bit clearer. I suppose, but
right.
I think for me, I think the exclamation point is fine. But
right.
I mean,
so what me and Windu usually talk about, and we kind of both agree on it, is like not everybody's gonna read these updates, right? Not everybody's gonna read the patch notes or what's going on, so they're not going to see this information, this valuable information to let you know how to report somebody. Not everybody's going to watch this video and understand that we're talking, what we're talking about. So you have those people that just go in and play the game, and they're basically just tunnel vision, like we're gonna play the game, we're gonna do this, and like and then they get mad because they have no way of reporting somebody. And when you hit the scoreboard, you're looking over and it's like that explanation doesn't say that, right? So you're right, when you do get a playable tutorial, that's going to be great. So my next question for you though is like, when they show the playable tutorial, what message are they going to put in chat? They're like, hey, this person said this, mute this. Now I wonder, because you could play with that playable tutorial, like something really okay, we'll mute that guy. I think that's going to be funny to go back and watch now. Like we already see, look into the, that's going to be a good one to watch.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it'll be interesting to see for sure. I mean, it'll be. It's also a way for them to kind of like bring their. When they do the tutorial, they can kind of decide: do they want to make the tutorial completely like serious, or they want to be more like not make fun, but like have more fun with it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
They're gonna like with like, is it gonna be like a little chat box that comes up and it's like, I don't know, like a bunch of random characters and bleep bleep bleep, and like, and you're like, when someone is rude, like, like when someone's not being very happy, you can always go and hit the mute button or something like that, and then like make it fun. Or do they want to be completely serious? Like,
I think
any kind of foul mouthing that you would like to get rid of, go to the mute button, unmute and mute. But here, I don't know. I think from what I've seen of their old videos, it'll probably be more on the serious side.
Right.
But they could also change it up and do something a little bit more fun with the tutorial too. I don't know. I mean, that's completely up to them what they do. I think it'd be fine either way. Done well, either way is fine.
I think they should take one of us partners, like one that's like the I don't know, have to go like watch a lot of our content, but to see which one has like the least toxic person that doesn't get upset. You just like, they're so laid back or whatever, and have them use their name, like them typing in chat, like just like bleep 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 bleep, and it's like you wouldn't expect that person to be typing that message at all. But I also think they should have fun with it. And you remember back in the old days, I can't remember what. It was on the computer. I can't remember what system it was, but the little paperclip guy that would come up and help you. Clippy, yes. I think they should have Clippy come back and like have him like like oh, this is where we need to go for here. You need to report somebody. Click this button. I think Clippy would be great for that.
You could do a full Clippy. You could do like you know what it could be? It could literally be. Oh man. Okay. Cool. Here you go. Here you go.
Ideas. Listen, SMS.
So the Clippy is not Clippy, but you use Grim from Grim EXD.
Yes,
so
there you go.
Floating.
Yes.
Floaty guy, and he becomes like false like Clippy, right?
Yes.
He's like the tutorial guider guy because he leads EXD around like he's the executable.
Yes.
He is the little mastermind for the
Perfect.
tutorial. I don't know.
There we go.
It's my 2 cents.
All right.
Clippy. If you decide to go the Clippy route, use the guy that looks like the Star Wars guy. What's his name? Oh, shoot, I don't know. I don't know. I've said this on my stream before. Like, he looks just like the Star Wars. Come on,
Yoda?
Anakin's like no.
Yeah, that guy. I know who you're talking about. Yeah, the guy. His name. Anakin's his slave.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, slavery. Gosh.
Can you imagine he had a
Again.
sound effect too?
Right?
Like,
Oh, he'd probably have like the same. Yep. Yep. You could just do some weird like aliens type sound effect. Basically
Yeah.
Star Wars. It's
Yeah.
basically just a Star Wars sound effect.
There you go.
Could all it be.
Yep, I'm all about it. But it did.
He'll have like a perfectly like English voice. Maybe he's like British or something like that. This whole time.
We can get Brendan to do the voice.
Yeah, we could.
Oh,
get
yeah.
just Brendan to do this. And his most like Cockney accent.
Right?
Oh, that's perfect.
Right. So it did come back to me. You were talking about the bugs and reporting them, and if it's like worth it or whatever. The problem is like, I think they do prioritize their bugs, but like, it's hard to. I would understand being hard to prioritize bugs because to this something could be game breaking, and to you it's not game breaking. Like we're still having fun and we can still enjoy the game. Like I don't like it's not an issue, or vice versa. I mean, like we see something, it's like, dude, this is bad. We can't be having this, like. But like the devs look at it and see like, okay, I can see what they're saying, but it's almost supposed to work that way. Like they're not utilizing it the way it's supposed to be, or something. Like anything like that. It's hard to understand. You got to take that into consideration as well.
Yeah. My initial thoughts on that is they can see the whole roadmap, right? So like the developers, they can see everything that's ahead of them, right? And if something seems broken, bugged right now, they know that there's something coming around the corner. Like specifically when you're talking about like map bugs and stuff like that, yes, Espada is working really, really hard to clean up the map. But like how much time do you spend working on the old map when you know that you want to move to a new map kind of thing? And how close are they to the new map? And at what point do you just say, hey, Espada, we need you working on the new map? Like we don't want you working on the old map. Now I think that like, I think it's probably far enough out still that it's probably worth, it's been worth fixing the stuff that's in the current map. Because I think we've seen great improvements.
Oh, definitely.
To the map, which is nice. And things I didn't expect to see in terms of improvements. So that's really cool. And in terms of just the normal bug fixes and stuff too, like we don't know the priority level of those, and even if we think they're priority level high, they might not be. But that's why I think like a ticket system in which like we can see how many people have asked for it, like then it could be like, okay, well the team can take care of like these like executive level like bugs, right? Things that we know like is a big deal, and then we can get to like the player base level bugs, and then the player base level bugs can have like tiers to them, and it's like, okay, well this is like a top tier bug for player base level, not like executive level, like dev team level bugs that they're trying to figure out, like bigger bugs. Like a great example was like, do you go for like the bug if you get kicked from a game? First off, why are you getting kicked from the games?
Yes.
Right. And then when you re-enter the game, there's the bug of like everything being broken. Well, that's a pretty big bug, but does that take precedence over like game breaking bugs for a team fight in which like the abilities aren't happening in the right order? These are the things that they have to think about.
Like on that note, I'm so glad you brought that up. Yeah. All right, I literally had an argument last Cooch's Custom Tuesdays with Bader Dragon, good friend of mine, always stops by for the customs, right? And I am a service engineer in real life, right? That's why I go around to hospitals and I repair hospital medical devices, right? And what I hate the most is going to a place and having it be an intermittent issue that when I show up, it doesn't happen. The customer reports to me, hey, this is what's going on, this is how it works or whatever. So I go there and I run it and I'm there for hours and it doesn't happen. I can't fix, if it's not broken, I can't fix it, right? So I hate that. So yeah, we're getting disconnected in the game, right? We get these disconnects. But when you get disconnected, you come back and now you have all of these things that are missing. Now, if it's easy to fix the disconnects, do you just fix the disconnects, or do you work on fixing when they're coming back, you don't have the abilities, right? In my opinion, as a service engineer, I would rather keep the disconnects there while we're still in early access. Everybody who plays this game knows that it's happening, right? And it doesn't happen as often. When the game first came out, I got disconnected a lot. I hardly get disconnected now, right? It does happen, but it doesn't happen often.
Yeah.
But I would rather have that data to keep on seeing what's going on to cause that, the abilities not being there when you come back. For then, because there's going to be a time, guess what? When the game goes full release, there's going to be some wild thing that happens that somebody's going to get disconnected. And I would rather them come back and have a full working game when they come back than just easy fix the disconnects, and then now we don't know how to fix the abilities when you come back. That's my opinion. What are your guys' thoughts?
Yeah, it should be like that. I mean, if they just did fix the disconnect issue, and then it's going to happen to somebody where they'll connect back in, and what's it called? They won't have their abilities work. It's just having that second layer of, I don't want to say protection, but just backing up their bugs essentially. Because I would hate to say, I would hate for Fault to be like, hey, we fixed the disconnect issue, and then I get disconnected. I'm like, no, you didn't.
Right.
But I definitely think, yeah, fix the coming back in portion, and fix ultimately the disconnect issue. And then if you can't fix that, at least you got the part where, hey, I'm back in the game. At least stuff still works. So yeah. What about you?
All right. I in terms of the importance of the two, I think they're probably equally important. For me, I think that they've already done a decent amount of work in this area, though. I think they've already shown that they were able to like help both areas. I think because I honestly haven't been kicked out of a match in quite some time. Like I don't, and I play a lot of games.
Right.
I play a lot of more than most people. And I don't necessarily think that like focusing one or the other would be the better way to go. It's really just how, like, which one is more accessible for them to fix, like which one do they know the answers to right now, can they get that one fixed, and then like what can they do right now to make it better, and then if they need to come back to it at a later date to fix it up, then do whatever you can, and like because there's only so many areas they can like be attacking at once.
Oh yeah.
I think like if you can keep people from getting kicked out of a game at all, I think yes, I think Menace, you're right in that like you're always, I mean, you think about a AAA game, you're going to get kicked out of a game at some point, right? Like even AAA games, you will get kicked out, like for whatever reason. Who knows what that reason is, but everybody's got different systems, like everybody's got different, connecting to different servers. I don't know all the things that are like attached to getting disconnected from a game, whether that, what that be. I think you just do what you can in any of those areas, and then just go from there. I don't really know if like it's just whatever they can do. I mean, I don't know if there's like a end all be all in terms of like this is the one you should do first. But if you can keep people from getting kicked out of games in general, then like I guess you wouldn't really have to worry about relogging, but you will get kicked at some point. So
Right.
It would be nice to have that down pat, that like coming back in is solid. Then let's make sure that we're not getting kicked from games. But obviously, I think over the last month, I haven't really seen that people have been getting kicked too much. Now that's my experience.
Right.
But it could be.
No, it definitely happens.
It's a lot better. I know it does happen.
Yep.
I know it's a lot better, and I know that they have worked on when you come back in and having things be less broken. So it's good. And in over time, I'm sure they'll work on it more and more. It's just kind of like where do they, it's like that ticket of like all the bugs in the game, and like where are they going to start, where are they going to, what are they going to work on right now? So I don't know. I'm not too mad about like, I'm not even mad about
no.
like what they're,
Nope.
how they're going about it, and like,
Yep.
The
biggest thing to take from here, though, if you're watching this show, is if you do get kicked and you get that UE4 notification, always send it. Always send the information. The developers get that information. It goes right to them, and they're able to see stuff, and they're able to find. That's how they're able to fix the disconnect issue. They're able to see, oh, that's why they disconnected. Let's go here. Let's see what we got to do to work on that. So always send it. Don't close and don't send. You can send and close. You can send and restart or whatever. Do one of those two options. Always do the send option. I don't care which one you two. If you like, hey, that's my last one. Send and close. If you want to play again, hit send and restart. Always hit send. That's the biggest thing to take from that. So, a big announcement. It's not really a big announcement, but like they put it on here, like big ol' on the page. Like we're now hiring. They've been hiring, I believe, because they made that post a little while ago. But so, but hiring to me says that there's income. That says that they're paying. It's not just like, hey, it's only us 6. We're only working on ourselves. So that tells me that there's, they're able to pay employees. So, go ahead and go to the bi-weekly. You'll see what their animation, game design, programming. I mean, I'm not good with any of the stuff, so I won't be applying. But anybody who's interested, that will be a part of the growing the game fault, hit them up.
I think that's going to be really cool for the game to have more people. I mean, just more people working on the game just means better game in general.
Yep.
It doesn't always mean better game in general.
No.
We've seen great games be released with limited staff, sometimes even games being released. Some of my favorite games were released by like 1 to 2 people.
Yeah.
So like, you can have, great games with lower amount of people, but historically having more people helps.
Right.
It's less stress on that one person. So especially with a game of this size and this kind of stature, with it being a third person completely 3-dimensional game, I mean, at the level of detail that it is with art and whatnot.
Right.
So it'll be really cool to have that. Hopefully that'll even make the patches that we do have even larger.
Yeah.
More content in game.
Yep.
More people with their heads working on the project, I think is going to be cool.
I think
it's never a bad idea.
Yep. I think the growth of the team is going to be great. They need to grow, in my opinion, just so they can get, because most of your developer teams, like you said, there are teams that, just 1 or 2 people that can make a game and it's a great game. But those are games that usually have a lot less stuff going into it. So a game like Fault, there's a lot going into it. So you need a team for one, developing the game, and then other team for like bugs and fixes, a repair team pretty much. And to go in, like you have one team that we're focused on working on the future, and then we're focusing on working on the now and fixing the now, what may be wrong with it. You just have a whole team that just, like, we put a bug report in, we know what's going to this team, and then all the patches, hey, this is what's going to coming out. Like, we got a team working on that right now. And there'd be times that they could work together depending on what's going on. But I think that's why the team needs to grow, because a smaller team, means you have less resources. You're spread a little more thin.
Oh yeah.
Mastery system. I'm liking what we're gonna get here. Oh
my god! I was arguing with somebody about, not arguing, just having a rebuttal.
Yeah.
How like I like this right here, the experience portion, or the after match thing. Because like what it is now for me, I'm big on information. So what it is for me, like you get the matter and the XP, but I can't see the XP. Like I'm pretty sure if you hover over your icon in Fault and you see like the matter and the coins, the blue bar for experience, it won't tell you like how. I don't think it tells you how much you need for the like next level or something like that.
Okay. Yeah.
So I was really happy to see the after match and how it looks. If you get a hero mark, matter, XP, or like the I think it's mastery too, right? The mastery level.
Yep.
I think that's on there too.
Yep. It shows your master level of the hero you're using.
So yeah, me personally, I'm looking forward to that, the aftermatch.
So
up there.
the matter and the hero marks, the icons for those change, at least for what we're seeing. And but obviously this is a supplement to change. This isn't going to be exact, but those change. Those aren't the normal looks that we have in game right now. And that mastery border though, I'm loving it.
Yeah, that thing is scary.
Yeah, it's got really good detail, and it's the level of detail that I would expect from a Paragon successor.
Yep.
Right? Like this is the level of detail. These kind of details are what makes a game feel polished, makes a game feel like it gets that dopamine going. Because you see this, it probably makes a sound, it goes whang. You get madder, wham, like space. A hero mark comes in, there's like a and then there's like the hero pops up and the mastery probably has like the Grux's like growl goes on, and then your experience goes up and it goes and your dopamine's exploding and you can't handle yourself and you're like giddy in excitement like a little 12-year-old boy again. And I might be speaking from personal experience, but like I like that. That's gonna get me going, I'm gonna be like, even if I lost a game, I'm like, oh, still got 69 XP.
Right.
Let's go. Still moving up, and my mastery still moving up. I'm still gonna have that white and red freaking out skin for my Countess, and like I'm gonna be glowing, and everybody's gonna be, wishing they had like the best skin in the game. But they're not gonna have it because I'm gonna be there first, and even if I'm losing, I'm still getting my mastery and I'm still getting the dopamine. So, no.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you guys have it pulled up right now?
I have it pulled up. It's on the we can see it right now. About the experience.
So, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be something. So you guys see like the Grux and the border.
Yep.
Like I'm pretty sure that's gonna be like the loading screen too, right? Before matches, you can see everybody's mastery with their hero.
I mean, that's a good chance it could be that way.
Yeah, I would like to see that because I want to see Cooch's, max mastery Murdock on the team, so it scares everybody else before we get the match.
There we go.
Yeah, the max mastery Murdock and a max mastery Muriel right on his hip.
There you go.
Oh man.
There we go.
What are you gonna do?
Like
what are you gonna do? You're like, oh, we've already lost.
They're just gonna avoid duel.
Your skin is gonna get that. It's gonna put some fear into that enemy team. I can tell you that much right now.
Right?
Their eyes glow.
Their eyes freshie coming in. Their eyes literally glow red.
Yep.
That is scary.
That is scary.
Yep. I'm running the other way.
So speaking of
jungle deep raptor with red eyes, I'm running.
Speaking of skins, what are your guys? I mean, this is my first time talking to you both about the skins. I got up here on the screen now. Everybody can see the Bellica that they introduced in this patch or this update. What are your guys' thoughts on this and overall the skins that they put out so far?
Let's see. I'm not gonna lie. Like the whole silver, gold, diamond, I feel like I see that too many in games that have like this system.
Yeah.
I do like the stage 4 because I don't see too many white and red schemes, But Bellica looks amazing, but I'm not gonna. The wow factor for me for stage 1 to 3 wasn't really there. It was stage 4 for me, and that's just because I see it a lot. But I still think it's going in a good direction, especially with that stage 4. It's really gonna make me want stage 4 more than any other one. But
right.
Yeah. I'll say the thing that would be cool to see. So the thing that was cool about Paragon, the mastery with that is that they had you probably remember the crowns that you could get that were extra on top of the skin, and you could wear a crown with any skin, right? Mm-hmm. So these skins are going to be specific. You have to use these skins if you want to use the mastery skin. You can't use a different skin and have and showcase that you're a master. As far as what we know at this point. There's nothing like that. There also there's no change to the. It is just a reskin, right? It is just a recolorization of the skin, right? It's not a it's not like a change in like tier of the skin, if you will. It is the basic default skin, at least for Bellica here. The default skin being adjusted, and now it probably has some motion effects, like the red probably like on the last stage there probably does like shift around and is probably cool. But it doesn't have any kind of extra model pieces on it. And it would be really cool to see with the mastery system, like some kind of like the crown was something. There's just like what I can think of that like Paragon had that was cool that you could like have with the skin, right? Now would they do a crown again? I wouldn't think that they should. I don't think you should just you shouldn't just do that. Like it's already been done. And I know that this team is they've already shown themselves to be very creative and can come up with creative solutions and new, taking the game further than it was in the past. So I would love to see, I mean, it'd be cool if there was more things with it other than, because if I don't choose the mastery skin, do I get to showcase that I'm a master with that character? I don't know if you would with what we've seen so far, but
in game, I don't think so. But I think that would be more of the loading screen situation.
The loading screen would show that you're a master with that character, which might be just enough. But it would be cool to have some kind of like with the mastery skin. Maybe you have like some kind of extra. I know that the colorization probably shifting with the reds and the blacks in there, but without a video I also can't see it. But I know that they had shown with who was the skin?
Narbash. Narbash, yep.
Is it Narbash? Yeah, and they had like the video because they wanted to showcase the video. Like, and I'm assuming that all the other stage 4 heroes also have
that they have
the shifting, just like that Narbash video did. So I'm going to assume that this does shift. I don't know if the stage 1, 2, and 3 shift.
I don't know. They don't.
That'd be interesting to know, because I think actually the diamond would look kind of sick with like some shifting.
I think the diamond is just going to. All right. Do we all play Warzone here?
No,
I've played it. Yeah.
All right. So there's that.
I don't have many skins though.
Right. There's a diamond skin for one of the guns, and it, like if you're looking at it at the right light, it's kind of blinding. Not saying it's going to be blinding on here, but I think the skin's going to sparkle depending on how the light hits. Like if you go in the jungle, it's not going to sparkle because it's dark. But if you go out in the lane, you see the sun hits it, it might kind of have a little sparkle to it. I think that's what might happen. That's just my personal opinion. I was not told this by anybody, but that's just how I see that happening.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
No, I agree with you though. There is
refracted light a little bit.
Yep. Agree. There's no added to it, like you said, as a reskin. There is a little bit more to it because of the fact of the red kind of being a motion on there. So I don't know, what's that make that a tier 2 skin or something? However that works. But I think they're also saving those big skins, because these technically are going to be free skins. All you got to do is play. You play the game, and you unlock these 4. You get 4 free skins for this character. You play all the characters, you get 4 free skins for, well, it's 21 right now. So 21 times 4, whatever that comes out to be. One of you quick math whizzes right now. So
I'm trying to know.
So it's above 80. I know that. So anyways, we, all those free skins, but I think they're trying to save the big tier 4 skins. I think they're trying to save those for like a little more, like you kind of have to either, use in-game matter, pay for it, or actually, out of pocket, to pay for something like that, kind of a little bit going on there. So I think that's where you see with that. What I don't like is the inconsistency between some of these characters, right? Like you see here with Bellica, she's all white and red, no black. But if you go back and look at Murdock is white and red, chest up, and he's black and red, waist down. And I'm like, well, and I thought the black was just too much. Like it doesn't, like there was not enough. I don't know. It just was really throwing me off with him. And then you look at some characters, you just look at I don't know. It just like there isn't a consistency with it. I'm just wondering where they're going with this and how they're trying to get to it. I think.
I don't.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I think they're the what me and Windu we usually talk about is the I can't think what the word is, to make the colors pop, like that separation, that red and white, it does do a good job. Contrast, that's the word. I think the contrast is there with Bellica, but I think black, you see if you look on her legs, she's got those gray straps or whatever. I think if you make those black, that's going to make that contrast, that's going to make that white and red pop even more.
Right. It might look black in game.
I mean, I don't think it will, because it's literally the same gray straps that are on her stage 1, 2, and 3.
Very true. I didn't even look at
it. Yep. So it's the same gray strap. So I see why they're keeping it gray, because it's gray for the other ones, but like it's literally her stage. It's her mastery skin. Change it up. You can make those colors different. They don't have to be the exact same. So I think if you made that black and add a little black to it, not only is it going to help keep the consistency throughout the other skins, introducing the black as well. It kind of adds a little more contrast, add a little more pop to it.
Yeah. I think, I mean, and who's to know? Like, we don't know until these skins actually hit the game. I mean, they could very well adjust the colorization of them. They could adjust like what they look like. They could add more details to the mastery skins. I mean, I think if they're all within that white, red, and black kind of color scheme, I think it does work. But having some congruency across them, so you can tell specifically, oh, that is a mastery skin. That's not just a one of the default skins that, like, I think because there's nothing different about them that like separates them from the other default skins other than coloring. I think if there is another, like, Bellica had just a normal red skin, it would look pretty similar. Or a white skin, if Bellica had she has the polar stripe skin.
Right. Yep.
That is going to be pretty similar in looks to the mastery skin, but the mastery skin doesn't even have the face tattoo like the other one does, like the polar strike one does.
Yeah.
I think if, like, depending on how hard it is to get the mastery, I feel like the mastery should have like a little bit of a buff in terms of, like, it should have some of the details from one of those like tier 3 skins, maybe. I don't know.
No, I gotcha. Yeah.
Like
Understandable.
of the tier, like a polar strike in this red and white like schematic, I guess. I don't know. Like, design. I don't know.
Schematic.
Like, I mean, even if they used it in this form, like in this just using it off the default skin, I think that's still good, still fine.
Okay.
But
so
it's up to them.
You brought it up earlier. You talked about your countess, your mastery skin countess. Like I said, their colors they use are usually red, white, and black. Countess's colors are already red and black. So are we just going to introduce a little bit of white in there? Like, is it just going to be a normal countess skin? Like, how are you going to make countess stand out as a mastery system, compared to what she already has, if you're using pretty much the base skin that's already being used?
That'll be a good one to see.
Yeah, that'd be a good point. I mean, that, like, the red hex skin, gonna be differentiating the red hex skin from the mastery skin will be interesting in how they, like, make that work. Obviously, it's gonna glow in some way,
right?
So it will differentiate in that way. I think even the hex skin does glow a little bit. Maybe not as much. I don't know how much these are going.
These ones going to, yeah.
How much they'll shift, like what they'll look like in game. But Countess also has like a whitish skin too.
Yeah.
Purplish white skin with the carnival skin.
Yep.
So if they go white, then they have they kind of already have a skin in that category too. They have a, so that's just something they'll have to like. I'm sure. I mean, they have a pretty creative team.
Oh no, definitely.
Some things already, and I think they can. I think they could figure that out. It'd just be a matter of like what we see when it comes to game. Like, I don't know how long we have until they've been teasing the mastery for a little while now. It'll be cool to see it in the game, but yeah, I mean, it's really like, I mean, whatever they bring forward is going to be something to grind for, which is going to be good, right? Because like, as of right now, we don't really have anything to grind for other than skins. And you can get wards and whatnot. You can get all that matter, but you don't really have like for a character specific mastery system. There just isn't anything in the game for that right now. So there's no real reason to grind with a specific character. So this would be cool. This might make people this might introduce more dodging.
that is a possibility.
I'm trying to play a certain character to get. I'm trying to get the mastery. Like I'm gonna play this character, and it might make for more like weird looking cues where someone's like, "Oh, I'm gonna play a carry because you left me with the carry role, but I'm trying to get my mastery with Bellica." So, and then you end up with the Bellica carry, which, it's kind of like people already are gonna do that if they're kind of resolved that they want to play a hero. They're gonna a lot of times those people are just gonna play the hero even if it makes sense, so I mean, but like now this is gonna add, I mean, it's not a bad thing though, like it's a good thing. It's just, I mean, that is something that I can see happening.
Oh, definitely.
Is that you're just gonna have more people that are just like resolved to playing a certain hero until they get the mastery, and like it's gonna really mess with some queues and probably make some people lose some elo. But it's if they're having fun, they're getting their mastery skin, getting that dopamine flowing, then who's to say they didn't have fun, and who's to say they aren't enjoying the game,
Right. No, definitely. I like it overall. I think the mastery system is going to be great. I'm just interested to really see what they're going to do with all these skins. Like even Muriel being white, going from there, like we're going to add red to it, and see how it looks and the differences, the changes you're going to make. But yeah, no, it's definitely a good thing. I see your point though, the dodging, and then, the weird, people in lane, you're going to start seeing, Gideon jungle more often. I've only seen it one time, but you're going to see it more often because like, oh, nope. You guys want mid and left me with jungle. Here I going. So
here I am.
I'm actually gonna play devil's advocate on that because, like, even now I have that feeling of there's nothing for me to grind for. So, I mean, Kuch, you probably could tell that I'm not really playing as much. I played every now and then, but I don't play as much as I used to. So, I mean, the skin thing would definitely be a grind for something would definitely pull my attention back. And probably, a lot of other players who probably on the same boat as me just peel back just a little bit because I don't have that feeling of like any rewards or anything, because I already got all the ward skins and damn near all the hero skins now. So yeah, I mean, it could go either way, what Russ said, or it could go the complete opposite way.
Yeah.
And bring people back in and give them that grind for that objective,
No, definitely. And, I mean, I don't know how, I'm not going to speak for Russ, but, us as partners, we were given the skins, so we can represent them, on stream and stuff like that and kind of help, do what a partner's supposed to be doing. So we really haven't, like for me, I haven't really had that grind, like, hey, I want to get this skin, unlock this. I haven't had that, sense anymore. So a master skin's going to be great to have, something to like, oh, I can start playing for this one now and having that ability. So, a little sneak peek into our partner conversations that we did kind of bring that up. Like, hey, we don't, you're introducing mastery system. Like we as partners, we want to grind for it. If you guys, don't just give it to us. And so they've kind of like said, like, okay, we'll figure out what we got to do to make sure that's the way it works for you guys and go from there. So,
Yeah, I don't want to like all the dopamine levels of getting everything. I want to work for something.
Right,
You know,
exactly.
and,
Yep.
and not that we're not working for it, but I mean, you know, but yeah, I want to be able to grind for something. I still want those, you know, I want to be able to say like, oh, I got this amount of experience towards this hero at the end of a match too. So I think I mean, this is exclusively for partners, but to give us, you know, we're gonna have something to grind for as well now, which will be cool because you guys will be able to see us grinding for that on stream as well now. Whereas right now, you're not really. I mean, you might see a lot more of a certain hero. If you like a certain hero, a partner's now going to be playing that hero a lot more to get the mastery system, which is cool.
Yep.
So,
And that actually makes me. I just thought about this. Is like having the mastery skins to grind for. Right now, the only thing you have to grind for is Elo. You know, and Elo isn't really anything, but that's all you really do to grind for. So now that you have something else that you can grind for, maybe even if you lost that match, you're not so burnt out on it because, like, man, I just lost 33 Elo. You're like, oh, sweet, I still got so much XP towards this Bellica skin. You know, like that takes away, like it doesn't, you're not worried about losing all that Elo because you still got XP. So it works on that.
Very true. Very true.
right. It gives something for the casual players to, you know, to look forward to gain, even if they're losing Elo, or they're still getting something.
Right.
Like right now, if you lose a match, you don't really get anything, and if you don't watch Elo, nothing happened.
Right.
Like if you don't, like if you're not paying attention to, I mean, the casual gamer's probably not looking. You know, at the end of a match to a casual gamer, they're like, oh cool, I got matter, I got maybe a hero mark, maybe not, and I got experience, and you know, like it doesn't. There's not like it's a screen like this. The experience. I'm talking about the experience screen.
Yep.
Pops up at the end of at the end of a game. Like a screen like that is gonna give them something like a positive, like, hey, you did this right. Here's the experience for this hero. Keep playing this hero to get better. Maybe you won't have, you know, as much diversity in terms of what the players are playing because they'll be trying to play the same character over and over again. But actually, that's going to be good because they'll maybe learn a character all the way through and learn all their abilities and how to use them against different matchups and whatnot. So it'd be cool. I think just for everybody.
Yeah. I think that also works for the devs too, because now that you're going to start seeing all these different heroes get used more often because of that's who they want for a mastery or whatever, that's who they like. It's going to show you who gets played more technically. And because right now people are just playing just to change things up. Like, okay, I usually play Murdock. Well, I'm just going to switch over and play Sparrow because I've been literally playing 10 Murdock games in a row. Let me switch it up, you know? So that's almost the only reason they kind of switch now. But like, all right, they're going to grind for that mastery skin and they're going to stay Murdock. So then now we know it's like, you know what? We kind of need to adjust the balance so we can start, because like Sparrow's really not getting any love gameplay. So let's adjust the balance to where now Sparrow can start getting a little bit more. People are going to want, oh man, Sparrow now does this. Let me go be and see what that's like, you know? Certain things like that will help as well. All right, on to 13.6. We've all here had a chance to play 13.6, correct?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So, all right.
I've been able to get that new Cloak of Fortune though.
Ooh, I like it.
Either my team is surrendering or the enemy team surrendering. It's like I'm trying to go second, third item in, I can't get it.
I haven't used the Cloak of Fortune yet, because I haven't actually played a character in this patch yet that has you know, really needed to use it. So I haven't used it yet. But I think I've only seen like a few people actually using it so far, but I do think it's a really good item. I think it's really cool.
No, I like it. So as an ADC main now, after 13, I don't know if everybody hasn't noticed, after 13, the way the game feels to me, I love playing ADC. I was a support main because ADC just didn't feel good. So at 13, I'm back to ADC the way it was when I was a Paragon. So that says a lot to me. But Cloak of Fortune, it's like my third item now. I usually go crossbow, boots, and then Cloak of Fortune, depending on how the game's going. But that's where I try to get that in there, because that lifesteal, the attack speed, crit chance, like movement speed. The movement speed's the big thing too. Like that's
Yeah, that'll be a big thing for me too.
put that on top of the Murdock when it's passive, like already having the boots as well. Yeah, you're going. Like you're not getting away from that man. So
Yeah, that's nice. It's a nice sustain card for a carry, which was, I mean, wasn't something that we had. So it's good. It's good to see. I mean, obviously we had like lifesteal cards that were keeping, you know, carries sustained, but we didn't really have a true like burst damage sustain for a carry. And this is cool to see. I mean, giving people more options, especially in the carry, kind of seemed like builds were getting a little stale there. So it's good to see. It's good to see the change of adding in a new card, that, you know, flex card that somebody could throw in if they wanted to. Maybe they don't have the Narbash to heal them, so they want to throw in some extra life store. Maybe they have the Narbash and they want to be full health all the time.
yeah,
If the, you know, like the heals and the overdrive kicking in, I think I mean,
that
crit 25% crit is pretty good. So
stack this with that fountain,
gold,
that green fountain, and having Narbash.
That would be insane. Thank you. I was delivered some coffee.
There you go.
Nice. Yeah, no, I think it's a good good item for sure. So I don't know. I haven't had a chance to use it personally, but just in general, I think just having more build variety is not a bad thing, and I think it's good to see. So
all right, Stoic Greaves. You guys use those yet?
I have.
Yeah.
I've been playing ever since. What's it called? The 0.5. I've been playing a lot of Sevarog jungle, which was surprising to me because I felt really iffy about Sevarog jungle, but now I'm hooked on it. I think they're situational because you obviously have the other green boots, but the one team I was playing was primarily AD based, so it wasn't. I think they had one mage, and everybody, even the support was. I think they had like it wasn't your typical support. But me personally, I liked it.
Okay.
What's it called? I ultimately, I still think the green boot should have both physical and energy. I don't know. That's just me. I have seen other MOBAs where they have one that's energy based and then one physical based, but
I like the fact that you have two of them. You can go either way, like because it gives you the build path of however you want to go. You look at the team you're going against, like, okay, that's what I'm going against. I'm going energy armor. Oh, that's what I'm going against. I'm going physical armor. You know, I think you should have that ability to choose both. I think if you get all in one, you know, energy and physical, then you just become too tanky. Because like now, how do I build against you? You know, if you're you got to have a way to be able. You got to have some, you know, chinks in your armor. We got to be able to find some way to get to you. You know, and I think that so having the ability to build either way, depending on how the teams that stacks against you, I think that's the best route.
I mean, definitely help out that specific game when I played Sevarog and I first tried it. We still lost, but I went 31-2 with Sevarog with these damn boots.
31-2, and you still lost.
Yeah, just oh my god.
You didn't have Russ. You didn't have Russ as your mid and me as your ADC apparently.
I didn't have anybody. It's just one of them days. But yeah, man, it definitely played in the favor because it was primarily a 80 team. Like they had like two carries. I can't even remember exactly who they had. It was definitely a Greystone. But yeah, it definitely played the favor against that, especially early game.
Where was Greystone? Was he jungle or mid?
No, the Greystone was. That's what it was, a Greystone. So it was like one of those weird games.
Greystone was support.
Greystone was support.
Oh my gosh!
The carry.
Oh,
get me out! Gosh. Get me out! If I went into that game and I looked to my left, I'm like, wait, why are you here in this lane? Your other lane. Get out of here! Like as an ADC, I do not want a Greystone as my support. He doesn't do anything to support. There's no pull. There's no stun. Like nothing. He does nothing to support.
I know I'm not the only one with games like that. I know it's like these
Uh.
crazy team
That's
comps.
that's not good.
That's that guy that's like, oh, fine. I'm still working on my Greystone Mastery System. I guess I'll play Greystone support.
It was I'm trying to remember. Muriel solo, Grim mid, Gray support. I forgot who the jungle was.
Oh
And
no.
then they had a Murdock character, so it was primarily, AD based.
You even had Muriel go. You easily could have just swapped the two. Like
you had a Muriel offlaner, but no, you had a Grace support. Sounds like a communication error at finest.
Right.
Sounds oops.
Right. All right. Sound effects. This added the shrine buff. Receive sound effects. And then the Grim left mouse button fire and on hit update. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, I was
1
listening to the
second.
Grim sound effects just yesterday. And it's nice. It's cool. It's cool to have, like, it was different, and I was like, what is that sound? And I was like, oh, it's Grim shooting. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Yep.
Yeah, it's got a cool sound effect to it. I mean, once again, it's just cool to have more things, more sound effects. The more sound effects we have, more specific to each hero, the more clear the play is, the more, not just for a gameplay standpoint, but when you're talking about visual effects, you're talking about sound effects from somebody watching. Like, we're talking about, like, if there's a tournament happening and somebody's watching the game, right? Like, hearing all of this stuff, you're going to, like, you'll be able to hear, like, what's happening in the team fight too, which I think is a super important thing. Like, if you're in a major team fight, a lot of things are happening. You can only watch so many angles at the same time, right? Like, sound effects are going to allow you to know what things are happening if there's specific sound effects for certain things. So, like, it's good to have. I want to see more of this. I think having unique sound effects, visual effects for pretty much anything in the game, I think is a very, very good thing to have. So I'm happy this is here. And the shrine buff effects is pretty sweet to have too. So
yeah. So speaking of shrine buff and then going to visual effects, I think they need to add a visual effects for shrine buff, and they probably will eventually. But I think what is it? I think it's League. You're playing League and you're attacking the towers, like some of the shield falls off or whatever. I think, like, because the shrine is literally just this statue, I think as you're hitting it, like, parts of it should start falling off. Like, it's not attacking you back, so it doesn't need the arms that it's holding the shrine on. Like, just parts of it should fall off, and then when you finally destroy it, the buff goes to you. I think that would be a cool visual effects to have that.
I said something similar when I was playing with a buddy of mine. I said, instead of like it part, like, what if you hit it and, because it's a statue, but it has like the gold outline and the trim. What if that, like, just glows immensely as you're doing damage, and then obviously crumbles when you defeat it? That's the idea I thought of.
yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. Like a visual for it dying, or for it, like, to kind of like show its health, right?
Yep.
I think that'd be pretty cool. I don't know. I don't have any. I mean, whatever way they decided to visually do that, obviously they just wanted to get him in the game at this point.
Right.
And I'm glad they did. I think it's been a huge improvement.
Oh, huge improvement. Yes.
Because obviously, like, now you have so much more to do, so much more to fight for. And I think as we've, like, gotten used to having them over these last two months.
Yep.
It's 2 months since we've had the shrine buffs.
Close to
Maybe
it.
more, maybe, or something, or somewhere around there. I think so. Am I wrong? I might be wrong in that. Maybe a month and a half. I don't know exactly when they were showed. It feels like 2 months though. It's been a good amount of time. Either way, it's been a good amount of time. Enough time for it to kind of fall into, now everybody is used to them. Like, people, know, like, we kind of have like rotations of when people should start to show up to, like, obviously, like, jungler trying to get over and help with the gold buff early to get it low so the carry can come down and secure it, or
Yep.
bodying it so they can take an early team fight right there if they need to. and then cycling into Raptor if they can. You know, it just adds more variety to the game early, which is cool, especially with the addition of Prime Helix as well.
Yes.
Which I don't know if Prime Helix. Yes, I think people are using it. I don't know if it's really like, I think at the top end, people are using it a lot more effectively. I think for most games, I don't think most people are using it still. I think it's something that maybe hasn't been used. Like, I think it's just because of habit. I think people just aren't really taking advantage of it. If you looked at the numbers, I don't think Prime Helix is taken very often.
No, I agree with
It's
you.
probably not taken. It's probably not taken for most games, especially anything like maybe like bronze, silver, gold. Probably not taken very often.
So as a bronze player, like when it first came out, I was noticing it was being grabbed pretty often. You know, like, all right, we're getting and I noticed it was huge to get. Like, oh man, look how much damage you're doing to a tower. Great job, right? But now that like the farther we go and as it's been introduced, I'm noticing that I go games that it's never been grabbed. We'll go get Prime later on, but like we didn't get Lesser Helix. And it's like, why didn't we? As an ADC main, Lesser Helix is on the other side of the map, so it's harder for me to get over there. But it's not too hard to get for if the solo and jungler can grab it themselves. They don't need a whole team over there because it doesn't do much damage to you. It is a little tanky, but you could, between the two of you, you can sit there and get work at it. So you don't need a whole team over there like you do for like Prime. Depending what time of the game it is, obviously. You can do it, but I noticed there's times that like team won't even grab it, or even the other team doesn't. Like nobody, like I don't get a notification, hey, enemy team grabbed Lesser Helix, or your team grabbed Lesser Helix. Like, okay.
Yeah, and I wonder if everybody because you kind of need the jungler going over there,
yep.
right? You kind of need the, if you're gonna get Lesser Helix, you kind of need the offlaner and the mid laner and the jungler to kind of all like work together to try to get it. Maybe you only need 2 of the 3. You need 2 of the 3 to get it. You can't really solo it.
Yeah, it's hard to solo it unless you're a tanky Chimera or whatever.
Kai might be able to. I don't know. I haven't tested it. There hasn't been like Prime Helix has not been into the game long enough, I think, for like us to really be able to say a whole lot about it at this point.
Right.
I don't think it's really fallen into its meta, or like what the I don't think any changes need to be made to it yet, because I don't think there's going to be enough data at this point in terms of like but I will say though, from what I've seen, is that it's not being taken very often, at least at the lower elos and teams that aren't in comp. So I don't play with a full stack team.
Right.
Like if I was playing with a full stack team and we were going balls to the wall trying to like get every advantage we possibly could, are we going to be trying to line up our team members to like get that? I play a lot of solo and duo queue, right? Like are we going to be able to get a team of people that don't play together and not in comms to be able to like successfully group up and try to take that in a decent amount of time, not waste so much time that we've wasted farm? And
hard to do.
The jungler might as well just stay in the jungle and just keep farming, because the chance of the mid laner or the off laner not coming over and then you're just sitting there waiting and wasting 30 seconds is probably pretty high. So I think that's one of the things, is like Lesser Helix feels more like a buff that would be used by a team that's working well together. And because you take Prime Helix or Lesser Prime or Lesser Helix,
yep.
Lesser Helix, and you don't really get a whole lot for that. You still have to, like, the main advantage of that is that you have to then take the Lesser Helix, and then you have to work well enough as a team to go attack a tower to take it down, to do all the damage to the tower. That's where the main bonus comes from it, right?
Right.
You get the experience for killing it, and but like if you're in an inorganized team, you're not in a 5 stack or a 4 stack, or even a 3 stack, like even if you take it, you've now left lanes. So now the other, if they've stayed in lane, they've probably pushed to your tower. And by the time you like get back to lane, reset your lane, push the lane to get the tower, like if you're not grouped up well, with a team, yes, you could definitely just annihilate a tower right off the bat. It's pretty powerful, I think. I think it is a very powerful tool. It's just not being utilized, and I don't think there's enough information right now to know like really how it's going to affect the game. So I'm excited to see like as people get used to it more, and as people like I don't know, with more people I guess educated on like how it works. I think a lot of people just don't know how it works still.
Yep.
Like a lot of newer players, they're just going to keep farming. And honestly, like it's probably more effective for them to keep farming if they can't efficiently kill it and get back to lane or set a lane well. If you can't set a lane well, then you shouldn't be leaving your lane, because you're gonna lose your tower when you try to go get the lesser helix, and that's gonna be worse off than if you would have just got worse off than you getting lesser helix.
Right.
So like I don't know.
No, you're good.
I'll yield the floor.
So, no, I think it's definitely something that needs more time, more data points to see what's going on, how it's working, and more time, maybe a little more information put out about it and how it works and what the benefits you get from it. Maybe one of us, Windu or somebody, or like that really does YouTube videos, can kind of do a YouTube video and to explain exactly how well it works, and a little visual effect that shows you like, hey, get this, do this to a tower, look what happens. Maybe people understand a little bit better. Visual effects though, we already talked about Gideon's, his arms glowing, great use there. I haven't seen Chimera's. I don't know what it looks like, but it says Chimera's got indicates when he gains passive stacks. So I would like to see what that looks like. I wonder how well that is. I'm pretty interested.
Yeah, I've seen it. He just kind of always glows, because he's kind of, I mean, yes, like he'll continue to, like, so like it'll go away. I think, I don't know, he kind of like, to me, he looks like he's always glowing now, so I don't really know the difference in between. Like he's just like his visual effects, he's kind of got like almost like a Sevrog like smokiness around him,
like a green smoke. It's like green hell smoke. Okay.
Around him now.
That's what that is. Okay.
It's kind of like always around him. I don't know.
So does it disappear if he hits his E and uses the stacks? Does all of a sudden that green smoke go away? Like,
I don't know. Like I haven't actually. I mean, because he'll get it. Like he hits one person, he gets it right back.
Yeah,
right.
Bam,
like,
stack.
He already has a stack, so it's like
right.
It almost doesn't really feel like he needs an indicator, like showing like what. I mean, so it would be nice to know when you've stopped his stacks, right? When you've reset his stacks, some kind of like sound or animation for like, with that. But I think the visual effect, like it just kind of, to me, it just seems like it looks cool. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
The
No, it definitely does.
Look cool.
I didn't know that was the one we're talking about, but yeah, I've seen that and it does look cool.
But I maybe there's a different sound. Maybe there's a different visual effect that I haven't been noticing. But I've played a little bit. I played Chimera yesterday, and I haven't really noticed this change too much. And I don't know how you would really be able to. From a gameplay standpoint, like you would need the visual effect to know when you've stopped his stacks, right? Like this is the same kind of like arena of like the Greystone. Like I want to know when Greystone's ult's down, right? I want to know when Chimera's stacks aren't up, right? So I can take advantage of that. Well, like if it's gonna be in a team fight, like he's always glowing green, it looks cool. I don't know if it's gonna be something that I'm gonna be able to rely on to know like if I've stopped his stacks or not.
Right.
I don't know. I think I'd have to watch. Maybe I'm not watching closely enough. I'd like to see. I wish they would have shown a video here.
Yeah.
A little GIF showing like the difference between.
For all three of these.
Between him, for all three of these, it would have been really cool to see these visual effects in a GIF.
Yep.
To see exactly what they're talking about, so we can get a clear picture of like, yep, this is
yep.
him. In that form, so I know what to look for as a player, gameplay wise. I know what I'm looking for
Yep.
To give me the information I need to take a team fight well, you know.
Yep,
And
I agree.
it's going to change like any visual effect, right? Like future heroes, right? Like, I think about like the main visual effect I can think of a hero that this would be impactful for is someone like who's the big the night
Terra?
chick?
Terra.
Shoot, Terra, yeah. Terra. I can't believe I couldn't remember her name. But Terra, her
My
helmet
girl.
comes up. If it didn't have the visual effect of her helmet coming up, how would you know that she's unstoppable?
Right.
Like that's the biggest.
Yeah,
that's
she
like the
slams her
biggest,
helmet
visual
down.
effect.
Yep.
If her helmet didn't, you would be like, what is happening? Why can't I stun her? Why is she like unstoppable right now?
Yep.
So this is like things that need to be in the game to make it very clear in terms of like, okay, well, we shouldn't engage because Terra has her helmet up.
Right.
Like if her helmet didn't come up, like,
Yeah.
like okay, well, she's not getting stunned. So I think like things like this, but like this is a less, you know, obviously Chimera's passive stacks hitting, you know.
Right. Yeah. No, it's definitely not as big of a situation, but still still information you're gonna want to know. No, it makes sense. I agree with you. Yeah, and a gift for all three of these would have been cool anyways, just to kind of have an idea, like you said. So now that I know this is what I'm looking at, because like the Murdock visual effects, somebody asked me in stream the other day, hey, what's that blue, circle? I'm like, blue circle. I literally instantly went up to the on the hero bars, you have that blue circle right next to you, let you know you have your ultimate up. Like, is this what you meant? And they're like, no, the blue circle. I'm like, and then somebody in my chat's like, no, he's talking about Murdock's passive. I'm like, oh, his new passive. That's what you meant. Like, I didn't. I'm like, yeah. So I'm like, no, not obviously they didn't talk about passive, or whatever, but like, when you say blue circle, I'm like, you talking about the ultimate? Like, I have them. That's letting you know my ultimate's up. So, but yeah. So,
It would have been cool to see gift there, but I do like the visual effects change.
yes.
Leave it at that.
All right, let's just zoom through these bug fixes just because they're not anything crazy huge. I know people are asking in Discord about Queen. The Queen is now fixed. I guess it was causing not giving energy power, so good to go there. Boris's blood tracker, his Q, fixed an issue causing blood tracker to give a much lower attack speed bonus than it should. Sylphin should no longer play Boris. He's definitely cracked when he plays them. Countess, her dark drain, her passive. Fix an issue causing passive to not give any regeneration. All right, that'll be easier for you now to play, Russ. Grim.exe, fix an issue causing Grim basic attacks to not play the correct on-hit sound effects. All right, so they fix the sound effects, or did they add sound effects?
Yeah, I think there was. Yeah, well, they added the sound effects, but they also fixed this. There was like,
okay,
before this patch, there was like times where I would be attacking something and like no sound effects would play.
Okay,
Like it was just like this weird like they fixed that though. Like,
gotcha.
I think that's what they're referring to here is
Okay.
that, like, for some reason when you would auto like no sound would happen, you'd be like, what am I attacking? Like, am I doing something wrong? Like, what's
Right.
Like,
Okay.
like what's happening here? So I think they just fixed that. I think that's what they're saying here. As far as I know, I could be wrong, but
No, it makes sense.
I feel like, yeah.
Okay. Sparrow fixed an issue with her E, causing marker precision attack speed buff not scaling with levels. Steel, his Q, charged, fixed an issue causing Steel to be able to charge while in stasis. So what? That's
I've actually seen
is that
that one.
what is that? Is that the one?
Hilarious.
Stasis, is that the one where everybody goes blue? Then they hold still for a second. Okay, so he was able to charge. I haven't seen that. So yeah, him being able to charge in that would not be a good thing.
Unkillable.
Like,
So he's knocking people back while like
Yeah.
stasis. So stasis himself and then still use
And then
shield
charge. Yeah. I seen that. I was like, what is going on?
Yeah, right.
It's wild.
That's definitely something broken, right?
Yeah. I mean, so the steel was like putting on stasis gem and like running magic, like
I'm
running,
pretty
like,
sure it
energy
wasn't.
power?
I'm pretty sure it wasn't like. Well, what's the word? They were trying to do it on purpose.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was by accident.
Or
Yeah, it was a one-time thing.
They're probably running this support. It was probably support steel, and they're probably running the area of effect stasis. What's that? The stasis.
Rad pulse? No, the rad poise.
Rad poise. Rad poise. They're probably using rad poise, and it was like she was stopping everybody, and then Steel's still going. It's like everybody else has stopped, and he's the only one moving.
Nice.
I love that. I actually wish I would have seen that. I wish I could have messed around with that. That would have been fun.
If I was streaming, I would have clipped that, but I wasn't streaming that day.
Rip.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love you gotta laugh at stuff like that. That's like the
definitely
thing, you know.
Oh, right.
I love that.
Yep.
You know, it doesn't last long, but while it's there, you gotta have fun with it, you know.
And it works.
Awesome.
The alliteration, stasis steel, you know, it's there. All right, Eldritch Flame, fix the description of Eldritch Flame to now say it applies on all ability hits. Right?
That was a big change to Eldritch Flame as well. Eldritch Flame is pretty wild now.
Yeah.
Now this is just the description to make it so people know that change has been made.
Right.
Obviously.
Yep.
But yeah, this. I mean, I'm sure you guys already talked about that when it got patched, but
yep.
Yeah, that's a wild card now.
All right. Again, we talked about Espada and how he's been working on the map ward spots in various locations. The biggest thing I think out of here, obviously, there's certain ward spots they're better now, but prime walls were changed to slimmer ones to not look like walkable ledges. And prime walls are now easier to jump over for heroes with movement abilities. So that's kind of out of all of that, I think that was the biggest ones.
Biggest one, yeah, for sure.
You know, out of there. So, because you don't want those Murdocks, not Murdocks, those Gideons that can do teleport up and then sit on that ledge and do stuff like that. So.
Oh yeah, they're just chilling there.
Yep. So.
Yeah, no, I think it's a change that I could have left it the way it was. I don't think it's fair to have them to be able to sit up there and not really be able to be hit. So I'm glad that that's not able to be done like that anymore. But like, I mean, yeah, it created weird engagements, right? Like,
yeah,
it just, there shouldn't be a time where like you're just running through the jungle and then all of a sudden like someone's just standing up on a ledge and you can't get to them and they could just like throw pop shots at you.
Yep.
And or they can just like back up there and be completely safe because they're in this spot that you can't get to because like you either don't have movement, even though you caught them off guard. Now they're in this spot that just kind of looked a little buggy.
Yep.
You know.
I just think
like, I don't know.
Somebody introduced it on the show on one of the episodes. So they need like a ramp, kind of like when you're going up to Blue Buff, how you go behind Blue Buff and go that like the stairs that go around to Blue Buff, and you can drop down to Blue Buff. I think you need something like that going into Prime Helix. That way, like if I'm Murdock, I can still walk up there and I can sit up there and work up there. And you can teleport up there if you want as well. I think that way it's a good way to use verticality because that's kind of what this game's kind of built off of. So you still have the verticality option, but you're not only able to do it with the people who have the movement abilities.
Yeah, I think that I see what you're saying, but I think that also decreases the utility of a character with movement, right? Like, I mean, that's the whole thing. Like, you picked a character with movement, so you can go. Like, I honestly feel like there should be more places like that.
No,
where there's only areas where certain heroes can get to because of their movement abilities. I think, no, I don't want there to be a ton of it, right? But like,
no.
I think having an area like that where like only Kalari, Gideon, Greystone characters with movement can get through this area. I think that's actually a really good thing, in my opinion.
I 100% agree with that. I just don't think that a big objective like Prime, you should have that advantage. I think that it should be more of an equal playing field on a big objective like Prime. But anywhere else on the map, pretty much, I could see having those areas that only your movement abilities can get to or something. That's what my point with that would be. So yeah. Still utilize verticality, get people, movement abilities are able to go where they need to go. But the big objectives, Prime, Raptors, a little bit, because Raptors are now actually pretty big in game with the new upgrade they have. And the favor system works. So,
I
I could go either way with it, honestly. If they wanted to add stairs there, I mean, it's still a lot faster for like they would have to, someone that didn't have the ability would have to go around
Yeah,
to
yep.
go up, right? Like they'd have to find the front edge of the staircase to run up, whereas like a Kalari or a Gideon could like maybe there's like a little shortcut like jump like
Yep.
half like platform that they could get to faster. As up the stairs, something like that. That if they're coming from a certain angle, they could make the jump, and the other person would have to go all the way around and then up or something like that. I guess I could see something like that happening there. But then I think you'd have a lot of weird team fights, and where you'd have like people just kind of like trying to guard those stairs, because right now, where do the team fights for Prime happen? They happen right next to mid lane, right in front of the opening of Prime. But if you add stairs there, I think a lot of the team fights start happening near those stairs, because I think it's a lot more of a power position than being at the mouth, right?
Well, yes and no, but so that's your only way.
Whole team jumping in. Like imagine if you have a full team of 5 guys going up those stairs and coming from above, and it's completely safe to them because there's a wall in between. So now there's like right now you have the advantage of once you're in the Prime pit, if you're not low on health, which if you can body them out, right? Like there's only one way in unless you have a Gideon or like once you're in, you can defend from the enemy team getting into Prime. But like if you were to add that extra staircase, then any team member could just decide that, I'm just going to go around, and I think that could, because then you could just get the tank in right on top of the Prime, easy, no problem,
Right.
and then you can't do anything about it. I think that might introduce more weird gameplay, like weird team fight scenarios where you have somebody just sitting up, you have a Sevarog sitting up at the top just throwing roots down, something like
Right.
that. It would just be kind of a weird, like, nobody, I don't know. I could see them adding something like that, but also at the same time, in my opinion, I would say, like, I don't know. I feel like you gotta have spots where there's verticality for the verticality heroes, and you want to keep that sacred, if you will. Like you want to have those spots for those, because that's what makes those heroes mobile. That's their niche,
Right.
And then if you make it too easy for other characters to be mobile, then like they kind of lose their sauce, Gideon loses Kalari loses her sauce when they can't be as mobile. No, I don't know. That's my 2 cents. I don't know. I don't know what you think, Menace. Or
I don't know. I was listening to both of you guys. I see pros and cons on both. I don't know. I'm okay with what it's at right now. So yeah, I don't really have too much opinion on that.
Okay. Back to balances then. We got aspects. Warlock bonus damage is reduced from 20% to 16%. I mean, instead of going through all, did I say 200?
Reduced from 200.
My bad. Reduced from 20% to 16%. Right. My bad. Instead of me reading and making mistakes on reading these, is there anything big with these changes? You guys, I mean, I know you guys have them in front of you. Any big balance changes that you guys like? This one was big because there's one guy that I want to talk about.
And it's probably the same one, Gideon.
Yes.
Yeah, it's probably. Let's see here.
Gideon's been getting the Kalari treatment lately.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Gideon. We could talk about Gideon. Are we gonna get into Gideon here?
Let's get into Gideon.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty much the
Let's get
biggest
into
thing.
Gideon.
Yep.
I mean, yeah. So I don't know. Do you want to go first, Menace? What do you think? What are your?
Well, me personally, I got a lot of questions more than any like rebuttals or anything, because I think I asked it was you, Cooch. I think I asked Cooch. I was like, is this projectile size reduced by? Is that an additional 50 or like 50 flat from previous?
The way I read it is that's 50% from what you played before 13.6, 13.5, 50% smaller than 13.5. That's what I get from it.
Okay, so does anybody remember how?
I think it was a 20%.
Was before?
It was a 20%. If I can remember correctly.
So we're at 70% reduced
from the original Gideon, yes.
Okay, so now when I keep seeing this, it makes me think that the team is having a struggle finding being to be balanced. And the RMB doing damage to minions. Didn't they remove that? Now they're putting it back.
I don't remember that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know about the lane minion damage.
No, I don't remember that being there.
remember.
I could be wrong, but I don't remember that being a thing. So
Okay, so we'll just scratch that.
Alright.
I think they buffed. I think they made him clear faster.
before,
Right.
so they're kind of.
I think they increased his damage to lane minions so they could help him clear a little bit. I think. I could be wrong.
Right. So I mean, obviously, is that projectile size is the big standout for me, because now we're at 70% reduced. So that thing's damn near a snipe shot, a skill shot for sure. Now that you have to hit.
Well, the thing is, though, it's still not even a snipe. It's not a skill shot. Like that's the thing is he was big before, like and it's still big now. Like it's yeah.
We're at 70%. Like on his next update, it's gonna be even more.
I mean,
reduced size.
I don't know if they're gonna go with that. I mean, who knows? They could definitely change the size again. But maybe 50% was too much. Maybe they'll up it by 10%, and they'll make it a little bit bigger or whatever. I do know that, before they, I can't remember what patch it was, but they made a patch. Bellica and Gideon, you didn't have to be standing in the area that you were supposed to be hit, and you would still get hit by it. It was still doing damage. So they fixed that. That was a thing they fixed. And then, but now like that projectile, literally it's coming at you. It's a huge he's pretty much throwing earth at you. It's like, all right, it's like, yeah, you're getting hit by no matter what. So it needs to be, especially with his passive, it needs to be more of a skill shot. It needs to be harder for you to hit because he does so much damage with all 3 rocks. It's insane. Like you can literally get 3 shot just with doom, 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 and now you're done. That last rock didn't even have to do that much damage. The 40% less damage to lane minions, I think that is they're trying to not have to mess with his passive too much. So I think the 40% less damage to lane minions is to slow him leveling up, slow his leveling, so he doesn't level as fast. So he doesn't get to a massive, this huge like nobody can stop me Gideon. I believe that's where I see that and how I understand that. The explosion radius from 200 to 150, again, they're trying to make it a little more talented, more of a skill shot for you to hit that, so it doesn't do. You can't use the passive as effectively as often. So I like the change because look at a dev team. I don't hate Gideon. I don't hate Gideon at all. I think Gideon's one of the faces for the Paragon remakes, right?
Let me change that statement. You hate getting 3 rocked.
Oh, hell, but I don't know anybody who doesn't hate getting 3 rocked. All right, I think everybody here hates getting 3 rocked. So you see the passive, they did change his slow ability, right? They reduced the slow ability on it, so they did change a little bit to his passive, but I don't think they want to go through. I think SMS loves all of their passives that they made for these characters who didn't all have passives before they got here. So this is something they consider their own. They don't want to go through and make a crazy change to it. And I love a developing team that's going to balance. I would rather you take your time and find and really fine tune that thing to find that balance than for you to go like, oh, he's broken. Oh, now he's nerfed to the ground. Okay, now we got to find, like, now we're like, let's take our time. Let's like, all right, let's get a data points. We'll move this. All right, let's move it again. All right, let's move it again. Hence why you've seen 20%, now 50%. All right, we're getting there. Russ, what are your opinions?
All right, so I talked a lot about this yesterday on my stream.
Okay.
I'm already in it on Gideon's changes here. So I think his wave clear is too small. I think his wave clear has been affected too much. And personally, I think when you reduce his projectile size, so reducing his projectile size is already a nerf on his wave clear. So like,
right, yeah,
50% less likely to hit the hit the minions, and he's doing 40% less damage. So that's a huge nerf to his wave clear, and explosion radius is reduced. That's 3 nerfs to his wave clear on one ability.
Yep.
And you can't use his passive on just minions. You have to hit him. You have to hit a hero. So it's not like you can in lane hit the minions and hit the hero and get multiple. You're not going to be using. You're going to be hitting the hero. If you're trying to hit your 3 box, you're trying to hit the hero. You're not trying to hit the minions. So now you've nerfed him on his right mouse button so much for clearing waves that I don't really know like where this hurts him. As a Gideon is really good at rotating. Well, he can rotate fast, but like his wave clear is so low now. I just don't see him being able to a top tier Gideon player. Yeah, they're going to be able to do a lot of damage to the hero, but in terms of the wave clear, you can't increase your wave clear. Like
right.
Top tier player can't make those numbers higher. Like you just have to have a ton of power to be able to wave clear now. And it takes for most, like I was finding that like with Gideon, I was like using all of my mana trying to clear minions now, and his mana is so high you have to build mana lens his mana usage is so high you have to build mana lens right off the bat, and it does damage, but you really one route for him to go, because you have to build now. You literally have to build. You had to build it before, but now you have to build mana lens because you blow so much mana trying to blow up minions in lane. I think it just like in terms of like his damage on heroes, I think he still does good damage. Like, I mean, obviously it hasn't been nerfed too much other than the fact that like it's just harder to hit now. Which people that are really good at hitting with Gideon, they're still going to hit most of their shots, right? They're still going to hit most of their right mouse button. They're going to hit a lot less, not a lot less, but they're going to hit less for sure. Right. But it's still doing about the same damage. So he's fighting in team fights right now. Like it's just his wave clear just feels like any other character is going to just push him. Any other mid laner right now is just going to push to towers so much that he's never going to be able to rotate. Like that's all you have to do about a Gideon now. Is it like his like you just push him under tower and he can't rotate because he's got all those minions he can't deal with. Or if he tries to deal with them, he runs out of mana and then he can't rotate because he's got no mana.
Right.
You put him in a position where I think that like he's just. I mean, but what does this add up to? Like now with the projectile size reduced by 50, and then 40% less damage to lane minions, basically you're looking at like let's say it's a 70 nerf to his wave clear, and then there's a 25% decrease to his explosion radius too on that. So like, yeah, then probably a 75% like reduction to his wave clear. In terms of that ability, for that ability, it is like 75% less effective in my opinion. So like that's big. And he uses that ability. It takes him 8 seconds to get that. I think it's an 8-second cooldown on that, and it's expensive. So
yeah,
especially this game.
I know it puts him in a weird position right now. I think the wave clear, I don't know. I'm not a top tier Gideon player by any means. I know top tier Gideon players can make Gideon look in like a completely different beast.
Right.
I'm just not a Gideon player. But I think, I don't know. I think the wave clear is a little bit too much. I think if they bring back the wave clear just a little bit, I think his damage in team fight is still fine with these changes. It's just I think reducing the projectiles, it's like 3 nerfs to the ability.
Oh, it is.
Lane clear. It is literally just 3 nerfs to wave clear. And it helps out with him attacking heroes, but I think it affects wave clear more so that like wave clear is so bad that I don't know like how he stands up in my opinion. I don't know. I mean, if you could get him stacked, get him ahead, like, yeah, of course he's gonna still do great, like, because in a team fight he's still doing great damage. And I was like I couldn't clear lanes. Like when I was playing the other day, I literally could not clear a lane, but in a team fight I could destroy. It was such a weird thing. Like I could chunk people in a fight. But then when I came to the lane, like literally I was using all of my abilities and I wasn't barely doing any damage to the lane minions. The minions were more like stronger than the heroes were to me because of how little damage I was doing to lane. And I think it's just I think if they just buff up, maybe just do like 20% less damage to lane minions or 30% less damage to lane minions. Give them a little bit buff on that the lane minion side. I think the projectile size reduction can be fine. It's if you make it so, because that if you don't reduce the damage to the lane minions, then it's more of a or you reduce it less, then it's more of a nerf to his it's more of the
hero attack,
his ability to chunk, like do his pass, like always use his passive on a hero, and it doesn't affect his lane clear as much, because when you do all three of these at the same time, I don't really know what the main thing was that stopped, like, is making it so his lane clear is so bad. It's probably just the damage, the straight flat reduction to lane minions. Like that 40%, that's huge. That's almost half. I mean, when you introduce the reduction in size as well, like you've halved his damage to lane minions. And yes, he was destroying lanes immediately. You can't have him just blow up a lane in one rock every time as well. Like you can't have him being able to do that. So I think yes, it needed to be adjusted, but like I think you just half the change in terms of like lane minions, go back to 20% maybe. I think he's probably in a good spot. But
no, I think, and that'd be a good. That's what I was talking about earlier with the devs and how they do it. Like, all right, you make this change. All right, was it slightly over? All right, let's go back to half. Like, all right, now 20. All right, and then if maybe 20 is still not enough, then you jump it up to 30. And like, okay, see, and maybe 25 is that fine point, but you kind of do that little balancing act and you try to figure it out.
Yep. And I think if they're putting out patches bi-weekly, like I don't think it's that big of a deal, right? Like
no, definitely
putting out patches this frequently, like mess around with it, like get the data that you need to like get. I don't mind that. Like take whatever get whatever data you need to be able to make sure that you're making the right decision. Don't if you're gonna make a change, make a decent change, but don't make too many the only gruff I have with this is that like when you change 3 of the things that kind of change the same thing, right? You don't really know, like with his wave clear, like now you've changed 3 things with this wave clear. It's hard to know like really what was the main thing that changed his wave clear when you changed 3 things. There was some other change that was made a while ago that it was kind of the same thing. I don't know, it was a specific hero. Oh gosh, I don't know, or maybe it was gameplay wise. It was something about I don't know, I can't remember it anymore. There was another thing back in the day that like probably 6 months ago that was like kind of a similar thing of like there was so many changes for a certain thing that I didn't know exactly, like couldn't figure out what change had been made that like did something, because there were so many things of the same change, if that makes sense. But yeah, I don't know, we can move on.
All right.
Ability hit reduction is another just makes it harder for him to hit his triple passive hit as well. So
no, definitely does make that harder. I agree with you. The wave clear though, the wave clear does make sense. In that I agree with you. Everything you said was perfect. I agree that it needed to be changed. The wave clear, like he was just wiping lanes out real too easy. But all 3 of them is just a bit much. Items though, cooldown reduction increase. I think this is needed because with the new system, I don't think the CDR. I don't think we're getting enough CDR to really. They took the cap off of it, but you were never even able to get close to that anyways. So you almost were staying at that same cap point. So from what I know, because I don't play much support anymore, so I don't use much CDR as I used to, but it's still hard to get there. So I think this increase, everything's going from 10 to 15, a couple different things they'll show you, and all these, it shows that they're going up a little higher. So that's huge in my opinion. I don't know if you guys want to talk about that or not.
Well, I mean, matches are faster, so matches are faster than they used to be. So having faster cooldown rate increases. I think if the numbers have shown that we're not reaching that max, like if we're reaching about where we were before, and they want it to be faster, it's wherever they want to put it, right? Like if they want people to get higher cooldown rate, I would say, hey, yeah, just increase it. Sure, go for it. Like if it doesn't work out, you can always bring it back, roll it back to like 12.5, I guess. I don't know, like mess around with it. Like it's what I was saying,
Yeah. So early access, that's what we're here for. Find that, fine tune it, get where you want it to be, and then when full release comes, we're at a better, smoother spot. So.
But I also don't think that full release means that should stop.
No, 100%. No, it's a MOBA. There's going to be balancing all the time in a MOBA.
That should continue to happen.
Yes.
And as long as you're providing quick updates, I feel like, yeah, like if you take a little step too far, it's like, okay, well, if it was that big of a step too far that it's broken the game, then yes, throw a hotfix in. I think they've done a good job of throwing hotfixes.
Oh, they have.
When they found that as well. I've been happy about that. It's not like they're not just sticking to their bi-weekly updates as well.
Yeah.
They're also, if you've been noticing, they've been throwing in hotfixes when things are like blatantly broken.
Yep.
Which, I think they're doing it in the right way.
For sure.
That's my opinion in that area, at least.
Camouflage mod is no longer a tier 3 item. It is now a part of an item building into an item.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So now we can use it's cheaper. And what is it? It's only, instead of 2,800, it's 1,300. So you can get to camouflage mod a little sooner. Now builds out of Academy Pistol and Green Thumb. That's a big change. We'll get down to the item that it builds into here in a minute. Devourer's Blade, the big thing out of this is they took the active away.
Active.
Yep. Maximum shield was increased too, but the active being taken away from that. As somebody who's actually really bad at using actives, I never used it anyway, but I always build in a D-Blade as an ADC. Like D-Blade is one that I just get for that lifesteal. So I'm not too hurt by it, but I can see them taking it out.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I really know like the amount of uses, like how many people were devouring the shield. I think a lot of people were going, just using the shield. They only there's not many times when you were actually devouring the shield over just needing the shield.
Right.
So like just making it so you get the shield back faster and reducing, it's a carries don't really need to worry about actives.
Yep.
They shouldn't really need to be thinking about actives. They should just be shooting. It's like,
try my best.
It's cool for a carry to have to have an active or like have a couple actives, but when you have too many actives, like if you have a shot, say you had a shot and blood saber, I think at max, really a carry should only have 2 actives to really have to think about. Now, they could kind of like, if you were to get all the actives for a carry right now, you'd be at I think there's 4 actives for carry.
I believe so, yeah.
Jar of Hearts. And now what is meta might not be that, but you could potentially get 4 carry. You could get a large amount of, so in decreasing the amount of actives and just making the cards just better for carries, I think is not a bad thing.
Nope, I agree.
Good at that.
Growth implant. Growth implant cost was reduced from 1,500 to 1,200. Do you think that's going to make any changes?
Me personally, I've seen it in a lot of my games now.
Oh, really?
I would like to see growth implant be something more. I think it's. I don't really ever see it used
in Paragon. I remember a growth totem because that's what this pretty much is totem.
Everybody was on that.
And it was I used it a lot, especially when I was Terra. When I was Terra jungle, I loved growth totem. Just that ability to be so tanky at the end. I liked it. I just don't think to get to 1,200. At that point, there's so many more things that I can get at 1,200. That could be more beneficial for me than growth implant. I think it needs to be a lower tier item. Because right now, or at least make it more because right now you're only getting so much health every minute, right? And I don't think you're getting enough health for you to benefit at a 40-minute match. Like what are you getting? Like you could pretty much just save up and get what is the T-Fist or whatever that gives you health, and you get pretty much the same thing plus more. You know, like it doesn't work right now from what I'm seeing.
Yeah, I almost wonder if there could be a way to like maybe rework the way the card works or the item works, right? So maybe instead of just like a passive growth, like drip growth over time, maybe it's something that like growth is something that you kind of stack, right? Maybe it's like a beast hunter kind of thing where like you get like a low grade, maybe like maybe it's a jungle or an off lane item in which like you get the low grade item, and then you have to get like it's like one of the growing. It's like the bow or the
okay, yeah, the starting, yep,
like the grimoire, like
yep.
one of those starting items, and like you maybe you buy it and then you get a certain amount of like last hits with it, and you can kind of fill it up, and then it gives you the ability to purchase the next one, right? And so it's like kind of like a chunk upgrade instead of just like a and then it could be like there's like a at end game, maybe there's like a 5,000 cost version of growth implant that would make you like huge, right? Like, but you have to like save up, like, so it's kind of like it's like a similar way, but like it would allow you to go with kind of like your gold, so you could save for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I wonder if there was like a way to like build the like, because right now it just kind of feels like it's so
underwhelming.
It's so underwhelming. Yeah, like early game you don't get, like you kind of need to give it like an early game boost, right?
Yep.
Like it needs to, maybe there's like a 1,200 cost version of growth implant, right? Or a 1,500 cost version of growth implant that's like you get a certain amount of stack, and then you have to get 30 stacks for growth implant. I don't know what the stacks would look like or how you would get them,
Right?
but maybe you got to that. And this is like completely reworking the card. This is what I'm talking about, like, because right now I don't see it get used. I just plain out just don't get it to use.
I'm down for anything. I like the card. I like the idea of the card, even if a rework, you know, something for it to get used, because it's not, in my opinion, it's not getting used. I like the idea of the card. Like I said, I don't care if maybe you got to bring the cost way down. Even if you bring the cost way down, I still don't think it's going to get used, because the amount that you're getting, like I said, if you just save up and get a T-Fist, you're getting the exact same thing plus more. You know, it just takes you longer to save up for the T-Fist, obviously, but you're not like you need something. Go ahead.
1,200 is the mall. You already
Yeah.
have the mall, so you have the boost of health and damage right there.
Yep.
Like I don't know what how much is growth implant giving you? Hold on.
I think it's only 100 health per minute or whatever. So like I said, 40 minutes. What are you looking at? Or maybe I'm wrong with the numbers, but like I don't think it's much. So literally, and that's
to buy it to start it.
And that's because you have to buy it. Yeah. Then you got to buy it. So how long it took you to get to? So that's like you know, I don't know. I think the numbers. I have to do the numbers again. I haven't done it in a while, but like from last I knew, like the numbers just don't add up. It doesn't work. It's not really beneficial for you to become a tank.
At what point does this item really become worth it as an in-slot like replacement for one of your other end game cards?
Yep.
Like how long do we have to like? And I could like be something we could do math of, and literally find out that exact number.
Yep.
I mean, if you talk about you know, somebody in the community that used to do this. I mean, this is what's literally Sylphin was named doing this.
Yes.
He would bring up the spreadsheet. And
Yep.
he would literally like this is the minute, right? And I know Sylphin, if you're watching this, Sylphin knows that exact number, and he has it on a spreadsheet somewhere.
Put it in the comments, Sylphin. Let us know.
Sylphin knows this number, at which like it overtakes, and that's probably why like they're probably moving this gold cost and trying to bring it in line with what that number is.
Yep.
You know, like I don't, and who knows? Who knows? I think that like a slow drip. I think where you lose out on this card is that you never get that mid game like boost.
Yeah.
Like it's just kind of like a slow drip, but you don't get like there's no point at which like you can come back to lane and like, oh whoa, they have this new card. Like they have this burst of like, now they're doing a lot more damage. Now they're a lot more tanky all of a sudden. It's like it's kind of underwhelming in that way. And if you had growth implant be something that you could upgrade over time, like I don't know, that's a completely, I mean, that's just me dreaming of like what a different version of growth implant could be. That could be a completely separate card.
Yeah.
You know, that I'm speaking of. But like I could see growth implant being different in that way. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
I gotcha.
Either way. A reduction should see it used more.
Hopefully.
So.
Jar Hearts. The big thing to take from this is lifesteal was removed. Jar Hearts. So that's not going to be used as much as an ADC was, because it's kind of a benefit as an ADC to use it, was get that, you know, that lifesteal with the I think it's energy armor, right? Or is this? Oh, you got something else off of it. But or energy pen or something. Maybe it's energy pen that you got from.
I believe you get energy armor from it.
Energy armor. Okay, I knew it was energy something you got from it. It was the way you built into it. Like, okay, like I had to do something here.
Yeah, you get energy armor on it because you would run it as like. I mean, if you were a carry and you needed to, maybe you're against some ability user in your lane or something like that, and you need to kind of mitigate some of that damage. Then
or you just have a countess that just runs around nonstop and just ults you every time she sees you. Like that's.
You want to make.
Yes, yes, that's the big thing that I always use Jar for. So. That was the biggest thing out of that, though, the lifesteal. So, you know, it kind of makes you, if you're gonna use it for the, you know, a countess situation like that, you're still gonna lose something. It's not gonna be like, yeah, it was so easy to build into it because you got lifesteal out of it. So it's still an ADC card, you know, in a sense. It's just purple, but so it kind of makes you have to, like, if you're gonna build into that, so no, you're not gonna get the lifesteal you normally got. Next big thing, the stealth tech. This is what the camouflage mod builds into. Stealth tech got an old, shows the old picture what it looks like, and now the new picture what it looks like. I love the item art that they're using. It's so great. I remember like when we first started playing what it was, and then now it's even better. Like it's just improving, and they even have aspirations of getting it to being a 3D art or something, maybe it's 2D art is what I'm thinking. But anyways, then make it even better.
3D
okay.
Modeled art.
Yeah.
3D modeling of all the art and the items. Yeah.
So.
I don't know when that'll come, but these are still placeholders.
Yeah.
Technically. For that future.
So this now also grants physical pen, 175 health, and 35 movement speed. So this is a great card for a Kalari or a good jungle card. Really what this comes into. That's that movement speed in the jungle is huge. So, but Kalari, I could definitely see a Kalari using this time. So, you know, stealth is the name of her game, so stealth tech just works perfect for her. So.
Yeah. I think I haven't seen a lot of people using it yet.
Right.
I definitely could see more people using it as people find it. I think people really haven't found it yet. People haven't tried it a lot. I think people like somebody's gonna use it, right? Somebody's gonna use it, figure out how to use it really well, and someone's gonna post a clip, and then everybody's gonna be using it when someone finds out, like someone shows a clip of them absolutely just like exploiting it. I mean, exploiting.
Bro, no, I got you.
Using to its, you know what I mean, to its full capabilities. Someone's gonna just go absolutely off with this card. I'm just waiting for the clip.
I think it's that change.
Which character, but like someone's gonna use it on some character, and they're gonna showcase just how powerful this is. I haven't seen that many people using it yet.
I think it's that change from being it used to be or not being a legendary item, and now being a legendary item. You know, that tier 3, that final build. I think it's not knowing that's what that is. Like you go there, the picture changed, you know, but that doesn't necessarily mean, hey, this is a full build item, you know. So if you're not really paying attention, you know, you might see that, like, well, I'm on a full build item, you know. So you keep scrolling or whatever, you know. I think once they find out that's what this is and what it does for you, you know. Because like I said earlier in this episode, like people don't always read these. People don't always watch this episode. So, you have to, once they find out about it, either read this. Point being, watch these episodes, read the updates. You get so much information that you wouldn't know about if you just start playing the game.
Right.
Game
changing
it. Literally game. Undying Mantle. A decent. It's like a buff for Undying Mantle. The gold cost is reduced. The energy armor is increased, and it now grants 10 cooldown reduction. Like, that's huge, for your solo laners and your tanks.
Yep.
Because it also still gives you your active of the cleanse. So not only is it cheaper, you're getting more armor, and you get a CDR out of it.
Yeah, I think it's a good change. I think it kind of fell out. I think with the new 2 green tank items, energy tank items in.
Yep.
I think it's still. I honestly think this one's a sleeper. I think people have forgotten about, like, I don't know, maybe not. I don't know, but I feel like this item could come back into the meta because, having that cleanse, like, yes, the regen from those other items are very good, and they're good specifically on Kai, but this making it a little bit more armor, a little bit cheaper, adding another thing to it, like, it definitely makes it so when you get to the point of, like, you buy your exosuit, right, and then you have to make your decision on which one you're gonna get, more people might think about getting the mantle now. It's really depending on the enemy comp, right? Like,
yeah, no, definitely.
Now it's the 3 items, right? And I love that there's like the different routes you can take now.
Yes.
So you get that early exosuit, right?
Yep.
And then the build path is like, okay, look at the enemy team. Like, what do you need to focus on? Do you need to make sure that you're just getting a bunch of healing? Do you need to make sure, are they CCing you a lot? Like, is there one person that's CCing you? Because if there's one person that's CCing you, you can just say, oh, I'm going to grab the U mantle. If they're just lining up a bunch of CC on you, then absolutely get yourself the ring and just pop all the regen you possibly need. If they have a Brux or a Steel, then you ring all day long. But if you just have, like, a Decker to dodge the stun on, then U mantle's 100% what you want. It's cool. I don't know. I think adding the cooldown reduction on there is very alluring as well, because like, cooldown reduction is great on every hero. There's not a hero that
definitely
cooldown reduction is bad on.
Yeah.
I think you want that for a hero, and I think that's always a good thing to have.
A Sevarog was root faster. Or being able to use his root using it multiple times, because of the CDR. Like, I mean, it's only 10 CDR, but that's still CDR. Like, I can get to it faster. I'll take it. And it's still the card still benefits me. It's not just CDR that I'm taking out of it. It's good.
I think more importantly, it's still a viable option. Like,
oh
it's
yeah,
not one of the items in the group of items that's like people are having a hard time deciding if it's viable or not. It's definitely still a viable option in a lot of cases.
Yeah, I think before this change, though, I think people would say, I don't know. No, but I don't know about you, man. I think I'll just go with the ring or the fountain.
Yeah, I mean, you might as well just go with the ring, like.
Yeah, that's what I said, or both.
Yeah, I mean, the both is there, but I mean, that's if that is more time and gold that you have to build up to get to both. The ring is definitely the way to go in that regard. All right, check your blood sugar.
What else we got here?
So, anyways, sorry, my daughter's a diabetic, so she said she's feeling shaky. She gotta check her blood. My son keeps poking back here every 2 minutes. I'm hungry. Like, we're almost. Like, give me a minute. So, anyways, we're good though. We're almost finishing up anyway. So, but no, I agree. Yeah, that ring was definitely the way to go in this regard. So this CDR, the money change, the armor you get out of it, it definitely brings up, like, hey, we still have this. This is still here. Like, it's definitely there. Go with.
Now, I guess I haven't tested this, and I guess I don't know. I guess I've never really thought about this, but if you have cleansed CC, and then you're hit by CC in which you are not affected by, does the ring still proc? I wonder if you'll see people running U-Mantle ring combo and just running into a bunch of CC on purpose, popping U-Mantle with the ring, and then you're taking the damage, but also you're not getting stunned, but you're getting the regen.
Yeah.
I wonder if, I don't know if you're not CC'd. This would be something to test. I don't know if you're not CC'd.
Anybody
receive the regen from ring. That would be a good, if anybody has that in the comments.
Test it out.
Test
it out. Put in the comments.
But like, you could also test it in the future as well.
Let us know if you've already tested it. If you haven't tested it, let us know.
Yeah, that would be something that I'd be interested in seeing. And like, I don't know, it might not be the comp, because then you're running, that's a lot of energy armor. And you probably, I don't know if there's really a reason for you to be running that much energy armor.
I mean, team comp,
just going absolutely off.
Yeah.
Like maybe they have a Countess and a Gadget and a Muriel or a Decker.
A Kalari.
Kalari, I don't know.
Yep.
Kalari wouldn't be doing too much energy armor, but.
Oh yeah, you're right. My bad. Wrong person.
Maybe a Grux in the jungle or something like that, or a Steeler in the jungle.
Yep.
But a Grux does. You have to remember, does physical damage on his abilities, not energy. So, but it is CC. So.
Yeah.
That's a weird.
For sure. No, it's definitely something. Yeah. Again, let us know in the comments if that does still proc, because that's a big thing. Jungle buffs.
I don't know if it would be viable, but
I don't know if it's something. You would have to have that energy team comp. That what you're going against.
Extremely situational.
Yeah, exactly. But it'd still be something to know if it's because if it's not viable, like if it doesn't proc, then there's like it really makes that card pointless.
No reason to use them together.
Right. So.
Yeah.
Right. So
there might not be any reason to use them together, anyways, but.
And I mean, I don't use green cards that often as being an ADC main, but I wouldn't want, if I know that it's not viable, if it doesn't proc, I wouldn't want my, jungler or my solo laner to buy both those cards and now just waste 2,900 because you bought it and now it's not going to work for you.
Yeah, by proccing U-Mantle, obviously U-Mantle is only going to protect you for a certain amount of time.
Right.
And outside of that, the ring would be a taking effect. But if you were to use both of them at the same time, does it stop the other one?
Right.
But, yeah.
And do you still get the health? So.
Yeah.
All right. So jungle buffs. Initial spawn time is increased from minute 20 to minute 25. I don't really see anything different feeling with the game when I play. Except it's just, I feel like we need to play the elevator music when you're on the dusk side as an ADC and you're waiting for them to finish. Like whatever the weak side of the map is when you're just sitting there waiting. Like it's just a long time to wait for everything to happen.
Oh yeah. I see what you're saying.
Yep.
Yeah, I think where you see this is if you like stay too long at the buff, like you'll lose. I think you'll lose like 2 minions off the start.
Okay. It could be, yeah. Because the minion times are the same.
What it does is it makes it so that the junglers can't have as long of a leash. So it slows down the jungle rotation a little bit earlier.
Okay.
Because if they want to, that is if they don't want to give up their lane farm.
Right.
Right. That's the only thing I could see there. Which 5 seconds is not that much of time, but it's also like enough that. It would be 5 seconds earlier that you probably wouldn't be helping with the red buff if you wanted to make sure they're for your stuff. So
shrines, physical and energy armor reduced from 20 to 0. Health and mana gain from damaging shrines can also occur from damaging abilities. This only occur once per ability. So that really means like a Greystone. Going up and doing his whirlwind of swords, just that hitting one time, not every hit is gonna help heal him or give him mana.
Right.
So, which I'm okay with that. I know I've heard some people say they don't like that. I feel like if you're doing damage to it, it should just give you even if it's a basic attack or ability attack, it should give you everything. If it's meant to give you mana and health back per hit, and it's not even this doesn't even give you that much. It's not like it really regenerates you. It just kind of helps sustain you for a little bit longer if need be. So I'm okay with it. Especially
what really
go ahead.
hurt was the mid lane. Because it was like, oh, well, you had to leave lane for so long to attack it because you couldn't use you would blow through a lot of your mana attacking it if you were going to try to burst it down quick and get back to lane. It's like either you had to like get your mana back at it and use your basic and sit there for a long time, be out of lane, and have the ability for their jungler to rotate.
Yeah.
But now you can sit from range, like is specifically thinking like a Gideon, like he can just throw a couple rocks, or a gadget can throw an ability at it to do a little bit of extra damage to it, and get mana back on hit, and then get back to lane with more mana that she had before, and burst it down a little faster. So it's just like you don't have like the mid laners just sitting on either side, just like throwing their weak basic attacks for like 2 minutes.
So the mid lane ones, those give mana regen anyways, right? Aren't those mana regens XP for the two mid shrines?
Yes, but for the pass, yeah, but just to make sure you don't lose too much mana.
Right. So I don't know. I just feel like, I mean, for me, and as a Murdock main, when I do damage to the gold buff and I use my buckshot, I'm still like, the mana I lost, I don't gain that back. Like I do gain some back by using my buckshot on it, but I don't gain the I lost. So you're still, what is that? Something returned? Returned? You know, like I think you're still getting, you get something, but you're not getting, it's not a full regen back. So I think it's still worth it. You're able to get it down quicker, but like you're not losing. I mean, I can see especially in mid lane is definitely gonna be affected more anyways, because that's your lane that's more mana hungry anyways. That the mages definitely need their mana for whatever they're doing. So I could definitely see how it's more sustainable for the mage that went and got it, and it hurts the mage who didn't go get it more. So, but I think that entices you to make sure you're going to get your shrines. You're not just allowing the mid laner to grab, the opposing mid laner to grab it. You need to get it too, because that huge benefit they're getting. Minions. What are your thoughts about the minion changes?
Let's see. I didn't read the minion part. I sort of skipped.
Physical armor was on the super minions. Physical armor was reduced from 100 to 80, and base damage was reduced from 250 to 225. So the super minions got a nerf, which in my opinion needed. Lane minion. The melee range and siege minions base damage and damage increase per 90 seconds lowered by 15%, and health increase per 90 seconds increased by 20%. 380 additional health for siege minions at the 30-minute mark. Lane minions now deal 15% increased damage against heroes.
Okay, so make them lane minions hurt even. I thought they hurt pretty good, but now I guess now we have to pick and choose where we're fighting at.
Yes.
Ganking and
yes.
The minions they're gonna fight back.
Yep.
Yeah, the minions are pretty wild now.
Yep. They definitely
lane minions.
Yeah.
You definitely poking. You have to be careful with like just back and forth. You don't want to take too much damage there. I mean, 15%. That's a good chunk.
Especially if you got a big wave. If you get those as in lane, you get a support who wants to engage and they got a big wave. It's like, hey, hold up, buddy. Like let's clear some of these guys first, because 15% out of 10 of them, that's 150% increase. So that's crazy. Like I don't want to deal with that right now. Let me clear some of this and then we'll go. But then you also try to build your wave and you try to put that, you try, all right, like I got a huge wave. Let's start attacking, because the aggro is gonna go to them and we can get this going. It definitely squishies get hurt real bad with minions now. So I like the change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think for me, the super minions, I don't know. I think that they could still come down a tad.
Yep.
Just the super minions. I think they're still maybe a little bit high. But I think a lane minion change, I think that's It definitely hurts. It definitely hurts newer players who know how to lane.
For sure.
Which just makes laning a little bit harder for newer players if they're playing against somebody that does know how to control a lane. Which, you know, I don't have anything against making the game like a high skilled game. It's a MOBA.
Right.
And I don't want the game to be easy for new players. Like you know, you have to make the game like something. You have to have something to strive for. You have to be able to get better at laning. And you want there to be penalties for being bad at it. But I also don't want to see it like you know, such big of a gap that, you know, I'm not saying that it's at that point, but I'm saying that gap is being increased, right? They're like, maybe not too much, but it is being increased, that gap between somebody that knows to exchange in lane and those that don't. So it is just something to notice here, is that they're kind of doing that. And then, like, so this first one, melee and ranged siege minion base damage and damage increase per 90 seconds lowered by 15%, and health increase per 90 seconds increased by 20%. So the damage over time has been decreased, so they do less damage, but their health is being increased by 20% every 90 seconds.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
So even more healthy late game, which what I'm seeing here is late game Gideon
Fall off.
doing less damage to his lane minions, man. This is another nerf to Gideon game wave here, man.
Yep.
Like, that's why, like, I felt like late game my scaling in terms of my damage when I was playing Gideon late game, like this health, like Gideon is having a really, really hard. You add in the fact that, like, if he's on the defense and the team gets prime and they're pushing with prime minions, like, Gideon literally cannot wave clear. And you're not even talking about a super minion, like Gideon can't, like, and then you compare it to someone like Countess. Countess can literally destroy a super minion in one hit. And it will take Gideon's full mana pool to take out the super minion.
Yep.
So I mean that's a completely different hero, right? And Countess has to be on top of anything to kill it, but like her wave clear is so much faster. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's just I just see that as another bummer for the wave clear of Gideon, at least for the late game.
All right, so if you guys are Gideon supporters and you love Gideon, make sure you stop by Russ's channel. You guys can have like a little Gideon support group going. But no, that really kind of finishes up here. Any last things you guys want to say to the community? Let them know what's going on. Anything you guys got going on in your communities?
I'm trying to think. I don't know. Could you know what I'm doing? I'm doing the PC setup reaction video.
Yeah,
So,
you got that going on.
If you want to post, if you could post my Discord in their description, if anybody wants to get their PC set up in a reaction video for a segment I'm doing.
Okay. You got going on. Welcome back, by the way, Russ. You took a little break there.
Yeah, we took a little break, but I just had to deal with some, family life stuff and make sure that we were, taking a break, just like I was saying earlier, making sure, keep your balance and, keeping up with life things just as much as you are, keeping up with Fault news and Rust Bus news.
Yes.
We're having a great time over on the Rust Bus, streaming most weeks, and I've been having a great time just being back live streaming again. Obviously it's been really cool to be a part of this community, and I'm so glad to be a part of a partner panel, which I've been wanting to be a part of for some time. So thanks, Cooch.
Hey, not a problem. I'm glad you're able to come up.
I'd love to be able to be a part of one of these in the future. I don't have the best schedule for being a part of it. That's why I haven't been a part of it in the past.
I think we're gonna try to flex the schedule a little bit because we got a lot of people. We have a bunch of the EU partners, and Espada wants to be on the show, and he's EU as well, so it's hard for him to get that. We do a Friday night show is what we do the recordings. So, and it's hard for anybody to, you're working, I think, at that time or whatever's going on. EU's sleeping at that time. So we need, we're going to try to be a little more flexible with the schedule. It's just between me and Windu, that time is the best time for us as of right now. But like this Saturday, it's a rainy Saturday. I was supposed to be doing a softball tournament with my daughter today, but it's all rainy. So her tournament got postponed. So I'm like, well, I have all day today. Let's get the show going. So it worked out perfect. I was able to get you both here, have a good show. I'll make sure when Windu creates the video, we put both your guys' socials on there to reach out to you guys, let everybody know to come hang out with you guys. Again, I appreciate you both showing up. It was a great show. I love the conversation, a little back and forth we're all able to have. And I hope you're all able to come back and do another show with us. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'd love that, man.
But on that note,
thank you.
we'll call it, and we'll talk to you all later.
Hashtag baby
Peace
Windu.
out, fam. See ya.